So if this isn't working for Bridges, what is the new plan?
You're destroying your partner.
Because
Steven's
she's
right.
her own person. She's her own person. She's allowed.
No, you're
to
not.
have-
What do you mean? They're married. They're one. It's a union. What are you talking about? They
I
have a
find
joint.
that sexist. I find that
It
wrong.
has nothing to
I
do
find
with
that
being sexist. It has, I would say, probably grounds for
streets?
divorce. That'd be my guess. I asked my wife to take it down, but for several days she refused.
Guys, what are you talking about here? Why are you laughing?
I want that shit taken down immediately. Day one. Hour one. Yeah, of course. Yeah, what the fuck? I'm a Supreme Court justice, bitch. You out of your mind? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I came in because I was curious. So you said you had a strategy meeting with Erudite, and I'm curious, what isn't going to work exactly?
The idea of having like truly challenging or adversarial conversations doesn't really, you can't actually do that because nobody in the political world actually believes the things that they say. That's why they aren't willing to defend any of their ideas. I think I got gaslit by my own audience and by the public. This idea that like, oh, debating is just fake and it doesn't prove anything and that's why people don't do it. I think the reality is I think they just know that a lot of their ideas are bullshit because at a certain point, like I can't reconcile how much people are willing to sacrifice to avoid challenging conversations because the viewership would be good, the gain in subs would be good, like every single part about it, the notoriety, like everything would be so beneficial. But I see now the reason why is because they know that they would get exposed hard.
To be clear, was this for Bridges or for the new thing that we were talking about? Because if it's for Bridges, I don't know. I mean, I guess I have no comment. But if it's for the new thing, I completely disagree with you.
No, I'm talking about Bridges.
Why would you guys start being adversarial on Bridges after everything you've done? Isn't the whole idea not that? It's to be
no, the goal is to bring people. Yeah, the goal is to bring people from, or originally the goal is to bring people from very different political persuasions, and then to be able to have like to show you can have a challenging conversation, build a bridge or whatever. But the thing that I've realized over the past several months is that nobody wants to engage on like core important ideas. It's only going to be on superficial bullshit.
Is that an admission that the Nick Fuentes conversation was a failure?
No, because my Fuentes conversations, I don't think were necessarily trying to persuade Fuentes. It was trying to like win over aspects of his audience and confront the arguments.
So you weren't trying to build a bridge with Fuentes. You were trying to build a bridge to the Groypers?
I mean, kind of. I mean, those two kind of work in tandem with each other, but yeah. I don't mind having adversarial relationships with other people, but like that breaks down because Fuentes was willing to engage, right? But the other guys aren't, yeah. What?
So, okay, so I'm curious. So what is just out of curiosity's sake then, so if this isn't working for Bridges, what is the new plan?
But what we've been doing, I think Bridges is working. It's just that original intent is just not working. But like interviewing highly educated people in the field that have interesting conversations, it just gives me the ability to reach out to people that ordinarily wouldn't come on stream, but would still be fun to talk to.
Okay. So yeah, you guys haven't been adversarial so far, as I know.
I never knew that was the original conception of Bridges.
So that's why I was confused. You're like, oh, this whole thing.
Sorry, hold on. You're confusing. When I say adversarial, I don't mean like bringing on for hardcore debates. I just mean bringing people on with meaningfully different like beliefs and then connecting with them while discussing those meaningfully different things. But people won't touch those core beliefs in a meaningful way. They'll never touch them.
Have you ever had such a conversation with anybody on the right?
Not anybody with a career. Like very small people or smaller people will do it because they can gain they can gain fame from it, right? Like Fuentes, I just got a request last night to do another debate with Fuentes. Fuentes will do it because he needs the publicity. But if you've got an established career, then you'll stay as far away from those conversations as possible because you know you're full of shit.
Well, what about like, remember we used to get politicians, not like big politicians, but hi, I'm running for a California State Senate seat 13 out of the Western District. Like they'll come on because they need anything.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Yeah, for very small people that need the platform, will do it. Yeah, but nobody with a career is what I'm saying. Yeah, nobody who's like already made it.
I mean, some of those people could be big deals. I mean, like there's a chance like they could win. They could be there. You know?
And then as soon as they win, they would never come on again. Yeah.
Well, I mean, as far as Bridges goes. Maybe that's fine. Like, are you going to be planning on doing repeat stuff on Bridges with people?
Wait, I don't understand what we're...
You're saying they're never going to come back on again on
But I'm
Bridges.
saying, to restate my thesis, people who have gathered an audience or who are successful in a given field politically will never have their political beliefs like challenged in a substantive way. That will never happen. That's what I'm saying. They intentionally avoid it.
I'm thinking... Maybe for bridges. I don't think that's true for other stuff. I think you could. So give me an example of someone that you think wouldn't come on.
Tim Pool or Persobic or whatever. These are people that will never talk to me again.
Okay, that's probably because you already kind of did a quasi version of this where you like molested both of them, right? So yeah.
No. My appearances with Pool were very gentle and soft. Anybody with the Daily Wire would also fall under this. Candace Owens, Jordan Peterson, Ben Shapiro. Yeah.
I don't think the Candace Owen things was very soft. Like, didn't you leave here with both of you guys shit talking each other?
Nope.
That was the
we
opposite
left totally fine. Her manager, I've got Mitchell. I've got his text on my phone saying, "Oh, that was so much fun. If you guys are ever in if you're ever in whatever state she's in, drop by and we'll do another show."
So what changed day two?
Candace started shit talking me that night when she went to Fresh and Fit. What do you mean?
Okay, so it sounds like once you get these people on, regardless of if you're fucking kid gloves or not kid gloves, they're just they do their one show because their audience has been like, go on Destiny show, and they've done it, and everyone's nice in person and everything, and they've done it, and then they can be like, man, talking with that cuck, that was something else, can't be doing that again, and they feel like they've satisfied it. So you might as well not be sensitive and soft. Like if you want, I mean, I'm saying there's probably a point of being understanding, like the stuff you've done on bridges is good, but those aren't those people.
Yes, this is the position I've arrived at. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no point in doing. Now, I don't like the first combo. I don't like the fact that Ben or Jordan Peterson or Michael Knowles or Candace Owens can say, "Oh yeah, I had a debate with Destiny or I chatted with Destiny." And now it feels like shit. It's like, no, you didn't. I was being like a fucking kid the entire time, so that you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Freak
So
the fuck out.
the idea is a new show, okay, that you do that doesn't interfere or scare people away from come on bridges, which is not that. It's like. The whole point of this is that you want chatters in other communities fucking screaming at their creator, go on this show, show.
There's no way to foster that because the people on these other programs intentionally commit to rhetoric to devalue the oppositional opinion so that it's not somebody who's presenting an authentic challenge. It's just a compromised person who's just lying in bad faith anyway.
I think these people would still come on and do a show. I think that a lot of them have something to prove, at least for the first time.
They have nothing to prove. No.
Ooh.
Okay. I mean, I disagree. What do you think, Disco? Who would come on? Well, I mean, we have to have an example of people that he hasn't talked to before.
Dave Rubin dodges me consistently and has continued to dodge me consistently.
That guy blocked me.
Okay, well, you're talking about like some very large people, like maybe let's use like streamer. Let's use streamers as an example, or
okay, who's the conservative streamer that we think will come on to Stevens?
Well, you could obviously get someone that's smaller, like one of the Rob Noors or one of those guys.
You're restating what I said earlier. Yeah, so if they're small enough and desperate enough for the attention, of course they'll come on. Yes.
Okay. Larger people who would come on. I think that you could get someone in Scandal. So like maybe someone like Moist Critical after he did that thing with
he's not conservative, is he?
No.
It's not the point that he's a conservative, right? It's that he was in a state of chaos, so he might be in a position where he'd be like, okay, I need to go on and explain this and understand and show what happened.
I'm talking about challenging like political people on like core substantive political beliefs.
Bring on Kevin Spacey. It proves Dan's point.
Okay. So political people. So you don't think that
there's no conservative who's my size or one level higher or one or two levels lower that would come on and chat with me. It will never happen unless they're totally fucking retarded and don't know who I am. It'll never happen.
You have talked to these people before, just not on your own show.
In the past I have, but only when I've been like agreeing to play very nicely. But if I want to do substantive challenges, they won't do it.
Lauren Southern.
How big is the largest content that she was producing just got removed from the internet. So,
but she would come on and talk to you.
Yeah, but because her brand has like been in remission for a long time, right? Of course she would, but that's because I
kind of get to Dan's point a little bit for kind of these middling, big but big conservative.
Hold on. I need to know real quick if you're trolling or not, because if you're not trolling, I need to obliterate. Wait, stop! I need to know if Pisco was just trolling with that answer, or if I need to obliterate this point.
I don't think you can obliterate.
Were you trolling, Pisco, or was that a?
He said he's not.
I was being serious.
Okay, yes. So Lauren Southern's like overall media relevancy right now is very, 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 very low. So if she would be willing to talk to me, it would be a combination of two things. One is that we have a friendly rapport, and 2 is because her media presence is so low that she only has anything to gain from that conversation, right?
Okay, so that would get to your underlying point, which is desperation.
Sure, I guess,
You're
yeah.
saying
Or
this would
there's
only
like
talk
such
to
a
you for
huge
desperation
yeah.
or-
I could swim through channels of conservative commentators who have less than 100,000 subs on YouTube and probably find people to debate. But
What about Glenn Beck? You think you could talk with
no,
him?
never.
No way. No
Glenn
way.
Beck, Charlie Kirk, Dave Rubin, the entirety of the Daily Wire, Tim Pool, anybody in his orbit, none of these conservatives will ever have a challenging conversation. It's the same on the left too, by the way. They're just harder to.
Would Prager
Actually,
ever have
I don't
a
know if it's the
rematch with
same.
you?
I don't
Wait, you
know.
talked to Prager.
I did.
Oh, good
But,
example, Josiah.
I did talk to Prager. Pacman
And you
set that
killed
up.
him.
Yeah, I would be surprised if Prager ever talked to me again.
Okay, maybe another example would be people that aren't necessarily political, like in nature, but people that are very political on Twitter. So, for instance, any one of these like tech douchebags who is like super supporting fucking Elon Musk.
Vivek, yeah.
Yeah,
Vivek could probably debate you.
Well, I don't know about that, but like maybe like Kim.com, huge fucking Elon dick sucker going through the courts right now, or like who? Basically, you just have to like who are the fucking dick suckers every time Elon posts something. Any of these guys, David Sachs, right? Maybe he would.
I was thinking David Sachs. Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah,
I
so-
might be able to grab people like that. I mean, that's possible, yeah. But I mean, this
these
isn't
people
really.
are hugely influential.
I mean,
no?
yeah, but they're not gonna. But they're retarded. They're not gonna know anything. Like they're gonna come on and they're just gonna say like, "Oh, I don't know any. I haven't heard about that. Oh, that's interesting."
Yeah, great. And you fucking destroy them, and then you make your side look better.
Let's get Sachs on the podcast.
Right. And there's a bunch of those guys that are in that all-in podcast. For instance, there's, I think it's Jason Calacanis. You have Shamath. I don't even know how to say his last name. Like, there's a few of these people, but there's a lot of people that aren't politicians first and foremost, that have large followings, that are very confident, and I'm like, I'm very successful in my niche, and I'm all in on Trump or something. And I feel like all of these people are easy targets for you to fucking dominate, and all of them are not going to do a ton of research on you, and you're gonna and their audience will be like, hey, go on Destiny's show and talk to him if you're feeling so strong about it, or you do it. He has 30,000 people live right now. Go on. And I think like a lot of them are so cocky and confident that they'll do it just because they've had success in other parts of their lives. So maybe that's where you look instead of like looking directly at a let me get Glenn Beck. It's let me get Kim.com.
Sure, that's possible.
But the Steven Crowders will never debate Steven.
Yeah,
That's
the
fine.
fact that it's not fine. That's the part. I could chew through like 20 huge tech bros that are fucking retarded, but I think the idea that the political media sphere is so adverse to being challenged because they know that they're fucking full of shit and they're lying, I think that's a huge fucking problem that has somehow been obfuscated to the public that consumes the media.
I mean, maybe you're looking at this wrong. Those people aren't the ones that you like. They're never changing. You're never changing Dave Rubin or any of these guys.
It's not
in
about
their
changing
fucking-
them. It's about the fact that they put themselves out there as people that feel strongly and can support their political opinions, and their audiences seem to believe that authentically, and it's absolutely not true.
Okay, that's fine. But here's the real question at the end of the day. Do we care about impact? Like, do you care about spreading the good word of the omni-liberal and changing minds?
Yeah, what you're saying isn't bad strategy for expansion of like debates or whatever. It's just not fundamentally. It's a totally different conversation. That's not what I'm talking about. The question wasn't like, oh, is there any large figure that I could debate? That wasn't the question. Or that wasn't the topic. The topic is just about how the entire media space is very insulated because they don't want to be challenged in their political opinions because they're either bought and paid for by somebody else or a foreign country or their own audience, or they're full of shit and they're grifting and they know it.
Do you think that applies equally to people on the left as well?
Yeah, some of them, yeah, probably, yeah.
What about like a Bill Maher? Do you think he's full of shit? That's like the dirtbag.
I think Bill Maher is one of the
leftist.
people that's probably authentic. I think he's a little dumb sometimes, but I think Bill Maher is probably authentic. He's very rare, though.
Okay. What about Sam Sater?
Sam is one of the only people I think who will debate almost anybody. I respect Sam a lot for that, even though we disagree a ton on shit. But Sam Cedar seems like he will debate anybody, yeah.
Okay, so what about Emma Vigland? Now that she's kind of doing
she's
her
an
own
idiot,
thing?
and she wouldn't. She will avoid people because she knows she's an idiot. She thinks that every single person in Africa is black, like an African American rapper. She's one of the stupidest people that on YouTube.
Okay, so like another example, of this would be like Bree, right? So probably not going to talk to you, right? But for good reason, because there's so many like ways that you can destroy like completely if she even steps remotely out of line. It's like, oh, hey, where's Virgil? Right? That's the end of that thing. Or like, hey, what'd you say on October 7th? That's the end of that thing, right? Like these people fundamentally can never talk to you because it would be an existential threat to their fucking career if they did. Like, yeah, no shit. But
Well,
the
but
other
it's not, you say that like no shit, but the problem is most of the audience doesn't recognize it. That's the problem.
Yeah, so and the way you reach the rest of the audiences is by doing a roundabout by them and going after the other creators that their viewers do watch, that are willing to go and do it, right? If you can't go direct to the source, we have to go not to the source. We go around it. We we take the water downstream a little bit, but that has the effects of being almost more effective, right? If you're starting to peel off their audience with other creators that you're doing it, right? There's a certain amount of people that, for instance, will watch Bree that are going to watch 10 other creators that will talk with you. And if you talk with those 10 other creators and you're very convincing and compelling.
I'm aware. I already do this. Yeah. So I just baited the Jesse on Fire guy. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll take any like smaller people that are a level below or 2 or 3 levels below me. Yeah, I'll do it. I already do this. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's effective shit to do. But we have to, and this is me selling myself a little bit here on our little adjudicated show, it has to be compelling and it has to be entertaining. I think one of the problems with a lot of this content that you want to do is you want to have you want to make a difference. Obviously, of course, want to make a difference. You want to change policy for the better. It's not your primary goal, or maybe it is. I have no fucking idea. But you want the world to be a better place fundamentally, and the ends justify the means. If we can get there with fucking fart jokes and dressing up like a judge with a fake wig and stuff like that and be 10 times more effective than if we were like super serious all the time and not do that, you owe it to yourself to do that and to try and go down those directions.
Yeah.
If you care about that. Yeah.
Or you just make Twitter Spaces every single week.
But those
call
are
up individual creators.
Yeah, I wonder if doing that, like, and bullying people in those spaces will eventually draw if they get like sucked into them. But the problem is there's like a crowd on like Twitter Spaces, and it seems like it feels like the Discord space is a little where it's the same retards that say the same retarded shit over and over again. But we should do that, Pisco.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab sorry, hold on 1 second.
Dude, every week.
I like it now. Even I have people like Huff Daddy saying entertaining to me is not entertaining to your audience. Like I think I have a pretty good idea of what's entertaining and what isn't.
You're a content man. You've always
exactly. I don't know. And you know what it is? The people that typically will say this, like, oh, this is not entertaining. Can we get back to the fucking reviewing of the docket? Thank you. You're interrupting my legal review. God, I hate this guy. It's like, all right.
Destiny would play those arpeggios on the piano, and he would always go back to them.
Good one, true.
Dude, that was funny. See, Dan's the content man. But I do believe, Steven, that we should do a weekly Twitter space. People can prepare for it. People will know about it. It's something that happens, and it's just an open invitation. And it's every week at a certain time, separate and apart from what we're doing with the news.
Sure.
I think also you doing that from the start with you and Pisco, I think you guys doing that, not with kid gloves from day one, sets a good expectation of what to expect. And it actually has a positive effect. It's almost like a Veblen good a little bit, right? It's expensive and dangerous. So people come on, as opposed to it being like Destiny's going to come on here and like do like weak soy sauce type of, listen, let me explain this to you because you may not know. Less of that, more of like, hey, so you're a fucking retard, right? Yeah, got it. You don't know any of this stuff. Okay, you can just stop talking. I'll just tell you how this is because you're obviously too fucking stupid to know. Like, that's what you want. That's how you move waves. And I think if you guys do that from day one, it's going to be hugely successful and have more positive impact also. I think maybe you're worried that if you're like that,
I'm not worried about anything. To be clear, none of this is about like having a positive impact or maximizing reach. I was just making a very particular and specific observation that political content.
Everyone agrees with you, Steven. Yes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So I know all these other things. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
He knows everything. I'll organize it, Steven. You just give me a time. I'll send you times. I'll make it work. All right. And you can just bring your little audience over and have some fun.
Sounds good.
All right, bro. Hey, guys. I'll let Josiah and Lycan say what they're going to say. But
I was just curious if you guys are going to live stream the debate on Tuesday or if there's like any prohibitions against that.
I'm going to live stream with the Silly Serious. So people who want to see our reactions can watch it live on my accounts. But you don't have to. You can watch Steven too.
Are you going to like you're going to do it on Twitch and YouTube and everything? Like, is there? I guess what I'm questioning is there a risk of like your channel being nuked for doing that?
Oh yes, but
Oh.
Twitter is a wild
Gotcha.
west, and I believe that our commentary is fair use, and so I do believe it's legal for me to do it, not for all of you, because I do believe that I'm giving transformative content. I do believe it's in the news. I think all, I just want to be clear. I believe that what I'm doing is legal, but in the interest of protecting my channel from frivolous claims, I think I'll be doing it on Kick and on Twitter.
I think if you're going to do commentary with her, you let her do the commentary and you just shut the up and be eye candy. That's it.
What the fudge is
Exactly.
your problem?
I have a lot of problems with you, mostly about your Supreme Court takes.
Wait a second. You understand that Steven just came out in favor of an expansion of the Supreme Court.
Not
Listen,
really. Not really, to be clear, but
Wait, you didn't you?
the
As
main
a
disagreement we had
conditional
before
threat.
was whether or not expanding the Supreme Court would delegitimize the Supreme Court. And now I've been brought over to saying maybe expanding the Supreme Court wouldn't be bad as a threat because it's already delegitimized. So, I mean,
Yeah, Pisco, way to blow your load and potentially
What?
scare him. Don't spook him.
Okay,
Lee.
all right,
We'll
we
just
can't spook
let him make his way over to the rest of us.
He actually is very oppositional. Like, you can't be like, he changed his mind about something. He has to come to that own conclusion. Because
I
if
don't care
say,
how he
like,
gets
"Oh,
there.
I
As
Coming
long
changed
all
as
my
over
he gets there, I
mind,"
don't give a shit.
okay, but what about my takes that you disagree with, Josiah? I mean, like, I feel like
Just saying. You fight me all the time when I criticize the Supreme Court. You're always the one defending Alito and Clarence Thomas, your two favorite justices.
Whoa, whoa,
That's
whoa,
the
whoa,
exact
whoa, whoa.
quote.
Okay, stop. You want to impeach Alito because of the flag thing. You want to impeach Alito because of the flags.
Excuse me. I just said that I thought that he violated federal, number one, federal law, arguably, and number two, the Supreme Court's own code of conduct by, engaging in behaviors that, violated impartiality. You're supposed to have the appearance of impartiality.
also, yeah, I'm sorry. If you're going to fucking bitch and moan and cry all day about how the Supreme Court's legitimacy is being undermined and write all these bullshit ass words, then at the very least, your personal conduct should represent that you're worried about the legitimacy of the court. And perception is incredibly important. So
100%. Exactly. Yeah.
You believe that Alito's wife is the chattel of Mr. Samuel Alito, and you believe that anything that she does is transferable to Samuel Alito. I find that sexist.
wait, where was this flag being flown?
It was at his house.
Hold on. Whose house? Do they both live there?
It's the joint ownership of property. They jointly own the
jointly
home.
owner.
Equal rights.
Joint ownership means they would both be responsible for what's being displayed there?
I don't know about that. They have equal rights, and the flag did come down, and maybe he thought, hey, I'll try to convince her instead of having a physical fight over the flag.
This
which
is
what
Pisco
you
trolling,
want.
by the way, yeah.
Oh, it's not trolling. Wait, what about this is trolling?
Oh, so if Alito's wife wanted to fly flags saying, not my president, talking about Joe Biden, and, president should have infinite immunity, flags with Trump, a million flags all over the house, you think that'd be fine? He's like, well, it could just be Alito's wife flying the flags.
I think that Samuel Alito had a responsibility to take down the flag in due course, or to divorce his wife if she wouldn't do that, or to go live somewhere else.
Wait, hold on. Why can't a husband and a wife just have a joint understanding of the importance of both of their careers and that they probably should limit their behavior accordingly?
You think that the wife, Mrs. Alito, should be like not allowed to do political things?
Do you want to phrase it in the most retarded way possible? Is that how we're going to do the conversation? Do you think that it's unreasonable that a husband and a wife would be mindful of each other's reputations in a public setting, especially
I think that's reasonable. But
yes. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Then yes.
Do you think that he agrees with the flag, and that's the reason it was up in the first place? Like,
don't know about that.
I mean, I think really that's the bigger question. That's like the most obvious answer
I
here
think
of
he's
this whole. Like,
I think
bro,
he's
if you're
a
living with
Trump,
someone, imagine I come to my home and I fucking step outside and there's like a big fucking flag for like some crazy shit. I'm gonna be like, well, that's my wife. She's got a right to do what she is. She is her own person.
Yeah, I just can't. It's what an
bitch, what
unbelievably
the fuck?
disrespectful thing to do. Like, imagine your wife is like the head of the fucking medical board of some bullshit, and you're publicly known as her husband, and you decide to go online and talk about like anti-vax stuff all day. Like, how insanely disrespectful. Or you can even flip it. Imagine you've got a wife who's the head of like the anti-vax movement or some shit, and as the husband, you decide to go online and talk about how cool vaccines are all day and contradict her. That you're like, why would you be so oppositional in a marriage like that? You're destroying your partner.
Because
Steven's
she's
right.
her own person. She's her own person. She's allowed.
No, you're
to
not.
be-
What do you mean? They're married. They're one. It's a union. What are you talking about? They
I
have a
find
joint.
that sexist. I find that
It
wrong.
has nothing
I
to do
find
with
that
being sexist. It has to do with what marriage, ideally. I mean, unless you're just doing it because whatever, you live together, which is fine. Listen, I'm more supportive of that position. But for generally, when people are married,
It's
should.
the doctrine of coverture.
Good one.
When
He's
most
trolling.
people are
Okay.
married,
It's not a
they
joint.
They
I mean, it's
typically
not
are going to be like on the
it's
same
not a
page
troll.
on almost everything. Like it's pretty rare that a husband and a wife are going to fundamentally disagree on something, on anything.
I mean, they could
really.
disagree, but even if they do,
On minor shit.
they could. No, husbands and wives could be in opposition
They
to things.
never disagree
but I'm
on
saying that
major-
you should. If the reputation, I'm sorry, I'll make a stronger statement on this. If the reputation of your partner isn't of any concern to you, then you should be divorced. You shouldn't even be married to the person. I can't. Unless your partner like
Profoundly
explicitly
inconsiderate.
Yeah, more than that, it's disrespectful to the marriage and the relationship and to your partner.
It was a momentary thing where they put up the flag.
Momentary.
for-
How many weeks was that flag up again?
Yeah, because they both agreed with it. That's why. There's no
You
way
think that-
around it.
You don't think that maybe she was upset
Nope.
at a certain thing?
Nope, they both agreed with it.
So anything that your wife does,
Why
Why are you reducing that? He's trolling. He goes trolling. He's trolling. He's trolling. It's
I'm
a troll.
not
It's a troll.
trolling.
Then you're slightly retarded.
Anytime you can always tell when somebody in a debate. Anytime they do is like, oh wait, so you're saying you can't stab your wife with a knife? Are you saying you could never touch her with anything then ever? Like anytime there's somebody makes a statement like that, you always know.
All right, I'm gonna go super hard on you. All right, so you have a flag that's put up in response to an ongoing dispute between neighbors, and Sam Alito's wife is very, very, very upset, and she puts up the flag. She claims out of duress because of what the neighbors are saying and they're protesting them, whatever. Sam Alito says, "Please take it down, and just instead of immediately going and hoisting the flag down, because the wife is just not listening, he talks it out, and it takes a few days, and then it comes down. Isn't that a fine approach as opposed to having a fight?
I would say probably
in the
grounds for
streets?
divorce. That'd be my guess. That if your partner is so disrespectful towards you that they're willing to jeopardize the entirety of the institution of the job that you inhabit, one of the most prestigious jobs, the most prestigious job, by the way, as a judge, arguably in the entire world, that if your partner is willing to threaten that because of a fight with a neighbor, you probably are like, okay, well, this person just isn't for me. And then you ditch the relationship because they're disrespectful to the relationship, to your reputation, and to you as a person. It's insane.
So you would file for divorce instead of just like, all right, let's work it out and find a solution in the next few days.
Why would you want to work? Why the person's not? It's not a partnership to them.
Maybe it was a momentary thing of things. You know,
Wait,
neighbors
hold
piss
on.
each other off.
What is the Occam's razor of this situation in your mind?
I think that Sam Alito is conservative. Sam Alito does support Trump, but I don't think that Sam Alito wanted those flags up.
Okay, that's the Occam's razor to you. That's the most likely explanation to you is usually the correct one. So the most likely explanation is
that he probably didn't want that flag up, and the proof is in the pudding. They took it down, right?
How many weeks?
okay.
What if she was flying a
Why did
Nazi?
it come down?
What if
Why
she
did it
was,
come down?
If she was flying a Nazi flag, would that be okay?
Okay, as to why it came down.
No?
Because
Why do you do this? So Steven just went after me, be like, "Oh, I can't believe you use hypotheticals that are so detached."
No,
I think
my issue wasn't doing a hypothetical that was so detached. My issue is that you were watering down the issue so much as to make your hypothetical not relevant, right? If I say you shouldn't be allowed to punch somebody in class just because they piss you off, and your retort is, "Oh wow, so if somebody's ever made you mad ever, you're not allowed to even touch them ever." You've destroyed that hypothetical doesn't fit, right? You're saying here that somebody should be able to fly whatever the fuck flag they want, and it should have no bearing on you because maybe you disagree with it, and then you can
I
have a
would treat
conversation
the
and take it
Nazi
down.
flag different. I would treat the Nazi flag different than the upside down flag. I do think that the Nazi flag, you have to find a way to take it down right away. But I do treat that differently than the upside down flag.
Wait,
You
but
might
why? What if
not.
it's his wife's own views? They shouldn't represent Alito's views at all, right?
I'm not saying they shouldn't represent Alito's views. What I'm saying is a little bit of grace to give time for the flag to come down.
And why would you give more grace? Do you think it's just more egregious for the Nazi flag than the whatever Trump flag? Whatever the fuck,
I think that you would agree with that. So suppose that Sonia Sotomayor's, let's say that she has a significant other. I think she's single, but assume that she has a significant other, and that person puts up a pride flag. You think that should come down?
it depends
I
on
would
the
say yes.
backlash.
Yes.
Double standards. Where are my
I
conservatives?
just said
YouTube
yes.
chat.
I just said
You
yes.
didn't
Are you
let him
okay that I have
answer.
to think about my answer for a second? Yeah, I would say yes.
Okay, but if he didn't take it down for 2 days because he really wanted to support for Pride Month, would you be like, divorce Sally?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Who's putting what
crazy.
flag up?
Owned.
You're not. Okay. Okay, never mind.
Wait,
He's
wait,
trolling.
no,
He's
keep
trolling.
going. I'm not
He's
trolling.
He's trolling. He's trolling. You're
No,
trolling.
I'm not
You're
trolling.
trolling. You're trolling.
Say it. Say what you were going to say.
Who's putting the
listen.
flag up?
Miss Alito put it up.
No. For the Sotomayor thing, was she the one putting
He
it
put
up?
it up.
Are you saying that
Mr. Sotomayor.
if her husband puts it up?
Yes.
Yes, if her husband puts it up, then yes, it would be the same situation, and all the same things would apply in the Alito situation. I would say yes.
Yeah, but he's like, I really want to support the gays. I want to do that. It's really important to me.
So
And
they both do?
What's that? No.
They
And and Sonia Sotomayor, Justice Sotomayor says, we have to cut it down. We have to get it down. And he's like very upset because there's anti-gay people on the other side of
No,
the street.
they can do it if they want in their own house, with their own name, because they would get divorced.
Yeah.
I
No,
think.
but
Okay.
what?
I'm just. It's so wild to me. Pisco.
What?
It's not. Pisco doesn't believe any of this. He is
That I'm
trolling. Just to be
consistent-
clear,
that I'm
Pisco is
consistent-
trolling.
You're
He is
not.
trolling.
No, here's the problem: is you know what you remind me of. Maybe I haven't been here for a lot of these debates, so I'm new to this. But you remind me of doing things where it's almost like talking with Rem a little bit, in that you have to be you have to be so completely consistent so as to throw out logic and reality. These are married people. Okay, married people do not do things like this unless they hate each other.
You're backstabbing your partner.
Bro,
Oh,
Yeah, the most
all the time.
Okay, you're wrong. The most likely explanation here is that both of them sat down and was like, you know what we can do to piss off these fucking retards? Let's put out a fucking upside down flag. He's like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. Like, that's what happened. That is absolutely the case. And instead of you doing that, you look for, because you're an attorney, I assume, I hope, you're looking for, well, that doesn't matter because one person has a current state of doing it. It should not affect on the other person. And while fundamentally that is true, in practice, in reality, as the Occam's razor, that's not reality, okay? In reality, married couples don't do things to, married couples don't do things to sabotage each other, okay?
Hang on a second. So this, putting up a flag, I think we all agree that was inappropriate given that it's a joint home that both use and occupy.
It's not inappropriate if they both agreed with doing it. Then it was a statement that they both chose to make, and I agree that I think that's the most likely outcome, is that they both did it because they wanted to do it.
Yeah, which is why I was saying when you asked me about the Sotomayor thing, I was like, that's why it's who hung the flag. Because if Sotomayor wants to signal that she supports gay rights or whatever, and that's how she rules, well, fine, whatever. But like that's how people are going to read it, of course.
That's inappropriate. It would be inappropriate to put up a... Or do you think it would be inappropriate?
Wait, why would it be inappropriate if it accurately represents her views?
For the same reason that it would be inappropriate for Samuel Alito to put up a upside down flag signaling that he agrees with Stop the Steal movement. Don't you agree that would be inappropriate?
That he agrees with the Stop the Steal movement. I think these two, one, I think these things are meaningfully different because I think that there are legal foundations for like equal protections, for things like gay and trans stuff or whatever the fuck, right? So I think they're meaningfully different, but also two, I don't think that the issue we're arguing about here is whether or not the flag is even appropriate or inappropriate. That's not the subject of what we're arguing about. What we're arguing about is it okay for Alito's wife to put up something that ostensibly Alito might not agree with? That's what we're arguing about in substance here. Does that flag represent both of them? And was the wife
I'm going to own you in the Marketplace Ideas right now. I'm just going to own you.
Go ahead.
So
Can't wait
would
for
you
this
have a problem if Samuel Alito says, yeah, I hung up that flag because Stop the Steal? You would have a problem with that?
I might, but now it's a different problem we're talking about. It's a different thing.
God. It would be worse. It would be way worse, wouldn't it?
It's not a matter of it being better or worse. It would be a different conversation. It's not. It would be. Do you agree that it's a different subject?
No.
Hold on. Me saying that if I show up and I've got a Nazi sticker on my car and I say I put that there because I support the Nazis, do you agree that you would have a different issue than if I showed up with a Nazi sticker on my car and say, oh, my wife put it there and I just didn't take it off?
I would have a different issue.
Yes.
But
Thank you.
It all pertains.
Thank you.
It all pertains.
Destroyed.
It all pertains to the same thing, which is, does this person have this view and are they displaying it publicly? That's the issue.
Does this person what? Say that again.
Does this person have this view and are they displaying it publicly in a way that it would undermine the integrity of the court?
Oh, yes,
That's what
I agree. Yeah, well, that is an issue, yes.
Okay, that I think is the main issue, is to what extent did Samuel Alito
well, wait, you can say
have a
that's the
role?
main issue. That's fine, but that's not what we were discussing in here. We were talking about whether or not the wife was backstabbing Alito if he didn't have those views and she put it up with him not wanting it up. That's what we were discussing in here.
Our debate was about backstabbing?
Yes. What do you mean? We were just talking about marriage and how if the wife was like fucking over the husband. That's why you were saying, well, maybe they just disagreed and they took it down after 3 days. Yes.
Okay, I can agree with you that it's a little backstabby to do that, but I don't know that it would destroy the marriage to have a few days of a little, she was out of her mind kind of.
Do you think it's more likely that he agreed with it and signed on? Like, hey, you know what? You should fucking do this. This would be really like funny, and then I can just blame you on it because you're pretty outspoken, and
I'm distinguishing
Fuck
two
these
things
Democrats.
there. On the one hand, do I think that he agrees with MAGA and Trump? That I think it's more likely than not that he agrees with Trump and all that stuff. But does he agree with putting up the flag? I think the answer is no, because he took it down.
Okay, here's a question. What if Jack Smith's case gets back to the Supreme Court and they presumptive immunity 5-4, okay? Amy sides of the liberals. But 5-4, presumptive immunity is given to 80% of the things. The case is tossed. And now Alito's flag outside of his house is being played. And now, protesters show up, they burn the house down just because of that flag. Do you think that he would have a right to say, okay, well, fuck you, wife, I'm divorcing you now? Do you think she's fucked up majorly now? Or...
Yes.
So then it's just an outcome-oriented thing?
No. Wait, sorry. Maybe I didn't understand your hypothetical. If there was a burned down house because of the same conduct, would it change my mind about whether it's a grounds for divorce?
Yeah.
Maybe not. But I think personally that it's something that a relationship could get through.
Well,
There are big conflicts within relationships on
my God.
fundamental issues.
No.
You don't
Steve,
agree?
I understand all that thing. I think here's a good question to ask.
Well, no, Pisco already admitted that he was wrong because he's saying you could get through it, meaning it would be a severe transgression and it would have to be something to get through.
It's a transgression. It's
Okay.
a severe transgression.
That's fine. Okay.
So you, Mr. Peace,
Yeah.
you think that this flag went up and Samuel Alito was like, hey, what the f***? You can't do that. And she was like, oh, let's
I
talk
think that's
about...
the most likely thing that happened.
Oh, okay.
You don't agree?
Well, that's taught me something about you that I now know that I didn't know before.
Wow.
So and remember, we're not talking as an attorney here. You genuinely believe that went up and that he was not in line with that. He was distraught that
With the
went up.
flag going up,
Yeah.
I tend to believe that he probably did not.
Don't use weasel words.
I believe that he. I'm saying I don't know for sure, but my intuition is that he probably did not want the flag to go up
Because he disagreed with the substance or the potential reputational costs.
because of the reputational cost of the court.
Fair.
And that's
Well, what about you don't think it's more likely that they were like, hey, listen, if we catch shit for this, I'll just blame it on you. It'll be fine, and we'll take it down for a little bit. But we got our point across. You don't think that's a very...
That's possible. You're gonna have to prove that's more
Okay.
likely than the other thing.
Well, I'm positing that it's more likely that
You're
is probably
positing. What does that mean? You're positing it. Does that
I'm
mean
saying
you're proving it?
I say that in a marriage, that would be something that would happen 90% of the time over an adversarial, I'm going to go put a Nazi flag outside, or I'm going to go put a all doctors are bastard sign out front of my house right now, and we're going to argue about it and leave it up for 3 days. I think...
So you think it's more likely?
I think that what you're saying is highly unlikely,
His own family.
and what I'm
They
saying
have come
is the
forward
most
and
likely.
They have told the American people the truth. Let me
Oh,
ask
shit. I'm
you-
sorry. I forgot you could do this. Let's keep on. My bad.
No. If you're
I
done
think
with this and you don't care
it's,
anymore and you want to move
No,
on,
I'm just looking
Sounds
for...
like you don't care anymore.
No, I do. Go ahead. Keep going.
I think that there are circumstances under which people can do.
I understand. I'm
very-
not disagreeing. No one's disagreeing with you.
Okay.
It's not about circumstances.
It's what's more
It's-
likely between the two outcomes is that
Yeah,
they conspire together, and be like, let's make a little quick signal.
I want to understand something about you.
Yeah.
What's the more likely thing that happened in this situation?
I think
And
it's more likely.
Let's give it out of 100% chance.
Yeah.
So you could say like there's a 5% chance this is the case, and there's a
I think it's
95%
I
chance
think
this
there's
is
an
the case.
85% chance that Alito genuinely didn't want the flag to go up. 85.
Okay. Thank you. I'm glad that you have answered that question. And I now know something about you. Unless
What
you're trolling,
do you know about me?
that you're retarded.
Oh.
Wait, so you think it's an 85% chance or whatever, 100% chance? What percentage do you put on the conspiracy theory where, yeah, let's put up this flag and not tell anyone until years later just to send a little secret signal to the Proud Boys? That's your belief, right?
My belief is that they put it up knowing they're like, okay, let's put this shit is fucking bullshit. These fucking Democrats.
Answer the question. Stop.
I'm trying to
weaseling.
answer it. I'm definitely not weaseling. I'm answering your question. It's just I'm not answering it yes or no, but you didn't answer mine yes or no either.
Yeah.
Okay. I think what happened is that they were both incredibly displeased with the current political climate, and they're like, can we do this? Can we get away with this? And she was like, yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. Fuck these guys. The fuck are they going to do? Well, I can't be impeached. If it gets too hot, I'll just say you did it, and then we'll remove it a little bit. I think that's...
More likely? 95?
I would put that at probably... if the outcome is that they're having, like, huge fights, I would say 90% the chance of it being the case.
90%.
Yeah, and then you know what? It's not like the 10% is your options. Like there's another like 5% in there for something else I haven't considered, and then there's like a 3% in there for something else I haven't considered, and then maybe there's
one,
and then there's like a 1.5 maybe that what you're saying is true. Okay, because what you're saying is so far outside the realm of what any normal married couple would do. It's just so fucking wild. I don't even know how to.
So you literally think Alito is lying to Congress, and he should be impeached and removed for the flag thing?
What did he say to Congress?
He said that my wife put it up without my permission. I tried to get it down and took some days to get it down.
Wait. When did he? It took him day. Damn, is his wife like a warrior? Was she guarding it with sword and shield?
No, because
I think that he's
out.
he's an attorney, and I think he probably. I would have to hear exactly what he said. But my wife put it up without my permission. That sounds aggressive. You know what? My wife got out of bed today without my permission. I didn't grant her permission to do it.
Wait, what did he say in front of the?
Meaningless
What did he say in front of Congress?
Well,
Also, me, I wish I would have read more of the story. Alito should have been impeached for this. I didn't realize how egregious
What are you
this was.
talking? You guys are going crazy.
Alito should have been
Anything
impeached
I
for
say,
this.
you go opposite.
On
Wait,
January
I just said-
17th, he was flying this out. I thought this was some shit that happened like in 2023. I didn't realize this was happening right after everything. What the Wait, this is wild. How can you ever cry about the legitimacy of the Supreme Court when you're literally one of the 9 justices that are deciding election fraud cases, and you're flying a Stop the Steal symbol outside your house before the new president has come in? This is unhinged.
Guys, read
Hold
the
on.
letter. Okay, I sent you
Also,
the letter,
Dan is
Steven.
100% correct. Wait, what the Do you think that his
Put
wife
up the
just put
letter.
this up and Alito's like, oh, who the fuck knows? Oh.
Put up the letter. I just sent it to you. This is from Alito to senators. What have you done, Josiah?
I feel like you're
He's
also
radicalized.
you're also like.
Oh,
I'm
wait, hold on.
questioning
Also,
your-
wait, hold on. 1 second, Dan. Sneeko did a
Yeah.
tricky on you. Okay, hold on. So this wasn't like testifying in front of fucking Congress and bullshit or whatever. This was just a letter that
He
Alito
lied.
wrote.
Yes, I said he lied to Congress.
Well, when you say lied to Congress, you're making it sound like there was a whole ass like a
No,
like
no,
a
I didn't
subpoena
tell him that.
deposition or
I'm sorry.
whatever. But this was just a fucking letter that he wrote to some fucking some cuck bullshit. Okay, just to be clear. All right.
If he consciously lied to these people, like a malicious lie, I would say he should be impeached and removed.
How the fuck are you
let's-
going to prove that his wife is actually? Wait, isn't it? Your wife doesn't even have to testify.
Read
against
it.
you,
Read
no?
the letter out loud in your voice.
This is in response to your letter of May 23rd to the Chief Justice requesting that he take steps to ensure that I recuse in Trump v. United States and any other cases related to the 2020 presidential election or the Jan 6th attack on the Capitol. As the court has pointed out, quote,
Wait a minute, Stephen, before you dive into that, would it be worthwhile to read Durbin's letter to Alito that Alito was responding to, where he makes the case about why this is a big deal? Do you think for context that would matter?
Can you just summarize it for me?
I'll send it to you.
It's like, hey, dipshit, you're a fucking judge and you're having a very political thing outside. This is not good. That was the letter.
That's
probably.
basically, yes, in so many words.
Okay.
Read
Keep
it.
reading, Steve. Go. Not.
In it,
we
you
know
claim
what that
2
was.
incidents involving the flying of flags created an appearance of impropriety that requires my recusal. The application or the applicable provision of our code of conduct states as follows. B, disqualification. 1, a justice is presumed impartial and has an obligation to sit unless disqualified. And 2, a justice should disqualify himself or herself in a proceeding in which the justice's impartiality might reasonably be questioned. That is, where an unbiased and reasonable person who is aware of all relevant circumstances would doubt that the justice could fairly discharge his or her duties. Code of conduct, blah, blah, blah. Okay. The 2 incidences you cite do not meet the conditions for recusal set out in B, subsection 2, and I therefore have an obligation to sit under B, subsection 1. The first incident cited in your letter concerns the flying of an upside-down American flag outside the house in Virginia, where my wife and I reside. In considering whether this event requires recusal, an unbiased and reasonable person would take into account the following facts. As I have stated publicly, I had nothing whatsoever to do with the flying of that flag. I was not even aware of the upside-down flag until it was called to my attention. As soon as I saw it, I asked my wife to take it down, but for several days, she refused.
Guys, what are you talking about here? Why are you laughing?
Because this
That can be
never
true.
happened. But okay, my wife and I own our Virginia home jointly. She therefore has the legal right to use the property as she sees fit. And there were no additional steps that I could have taken to have the flag taken down more
We stop
promptly.
right there for just a second because I'm curious. I've never owned property jointly. I've never been married. Dan, Stephen, you might be able to answer this. Wouldn't he have been within his legal right to just take the flag down himself?
Of course.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
My
then he
wife's
was like,
reasons.
Be the fly in your soup.
My wife's reasons for flying the flag are not relevant for present purposes, but I note that she was greatly distressed at the time, due in large part to a very nasty neighborhood dispute in which I had no involvement. A house on the street displayed a sign attacking her personally, and a man who was living in the house at the time trailed her all the way down the street and berated her in my presence using foul language, including what I regard as the vilest epithet that can be addressed to a woman.
You think that's cunt?
Probably.
Yeah, it is.
Definitely cunt.
Now, it's interesting, he said, this was in large part to a very nasty neighborhood dispute in which he had no involvement, but then he says that he was next to her when this guy called her a cunt, but okay. My wife is a private citizen, and she possesses the same First Amendment rights as every other American. She makes her own decisions, and I have always respected her right to do so. She has made many sacrifices to accommodate my service on the Supreme Court, including the insult of having to endure numerous loud, obscene, and personally insulting protests in front of our home that continue to this day and now threaten to escalate. I am confident that a reasonable person who is not motivated by political or ideological considerations or a desire to affect the outcome of Supreme Court cases would conclude that the events recounted above do not meet the applicable standard for recusal. I am therefore required to reject your request. The second incident concerns a flag bearing the legend, quote, an appeal to heaven, end quote, that flew in the backyard of our vacation home in the summer of 2023. I recall that my wife did fly that flag for some period of time, but I do not remember how long it flew. And what is most relevant here is I had no involvement in the decision to fly that flag. My wife is fond of flying flags. I am not. My wife was solely responsible for having flag poles put up at our residence and our vacation home, and has flown a wide variety of flags over the years. In addition to the American flag, she has flown other patriotic flags, including a favorite flag thanking veterans, college flags, flags supporting sports teams, state and local flags, flags of nations from which the ancestors of family members came, flags of places we have visited, seasonal flags, and religious flags. I was not familiar with the appeal to heaven flag when my wife flew it. She may have mentioned that it dates back to the American Revolution, and I assumed she was flying it to express a religious and patriotic message. I was not aware of any connection between this historic flag and the Stop the Steal movement, and neither was my wife. She did not fly it to associate herself with that or any other group, and the use of an old historic flag by a new group does not necessarily drain that flag of all other meaning. As I said in reference to the other flag event, my wife is an independently minded private citizen. She makes her own decisions, and I honor her right to do so. Our vacation home was purchased with money she inherited from her parents and is titled in her name. It is a place away from Washington where she should be able to relax. A reasonable person who is not motivated by political or ideological considerations or a desire to affect the outcome of Supreme Court cases would conclude that this event does not meet the applicable standard for recusal. I am therefore duty-bound to reject your recusal request. Sincerely yours, Salivta.
My guy, Semi.
So this letter, you think, does what exactly?
I think that it very plainly puts out the facts that
he's trolling.
He
He's
was not
laughing as he's trolling.
He was not responsible for that flag being hoisted.
My God,
it was his wife.
Can I ask you?
Yeah.
Do you live with anyone? You have like a boyfriend or girlfriend or something?
I have a relationship.
Okay, you're with this person.
I am, and I'm not, in different times.
Okay, I'm trying to. Do you? When this person does anything, have you given them permission to do that thing?
Never.
So anything they do by nature is without your permission.
Do you think that's just a language thing, and what he meant is I didn't condone it. I didn't tell her to do it.
Person. She's
okay.
She's her own person, and she does what she wants.
Okay, listen to me. Okay, these are Supreme Court judges that are using the most
using
good one.
Using the most weaselly of weasel words so as to have maximum impact in the letter while saying nothing.
Well,
okay?
and it's not even, we're not even talking about that. I hate that Dan is the right take here because fuck Dan, okay? But I feel like Dan is the only person here with any concept of what it means to be married. It's not just a random person that you live with sometimes, right? This is like somebody who's supposed to be your other half. You are union, right? And are these religious people? Because it would further this argument even more. You represent each other's reputations when you're out publicly. You're a married couple. She has his last name, I assume. The idea that you function completely independently of each other, especially in an arena that directly implicates your partner's career, and his job is one of the most important jobs. Like, imagine if Mrs. Walmart was out tweeting, God, Target's the best store ever. I always shop here. Like, that would be an insane thing to tweet. That would be crazy to say, right?
Wait,
you wouldn't
but you go so
divorce
far
them
as to believe-
immediately.
Wait. But now we're doing something else, Lycan, because Steven needs to agree now with Dan that he believes
yes.
that. Wait.
It's something that has to happen.
Wait,
We
so
can,
Destiny.
if Destiny doesn't agree with me, we know
Then we know
that it's fucked.
So,
Yes.
Okay, so Destiny, do you agree with Dan that 90% chance Samuel Alito actually wanted that flag up?
No, if Dan said that, I disagree. It's 95%.
Oh my God! What the fuck?
Absolutely. Because if Alito cared about, okay, as much as these cucks say they care about the perceived impropriety of the court, or the perceived
legitimacy.
The legitimacy of the court, if his wife puts that fucking flag up, I bet he's calling the fucking cops, saying somebody vandalized our home. I want that shit taken down immediately. Day one, hour one. Yeah, of course. Yeah, what the fuck? I'm a Supreme Court justice, bitch. You out of your mind? What the fuck is wrong with you? That's insane.
And like, oh, hey, you know what? I'm just going to leave this up for a few days while we talk it out.
Yeah, that's
retarded.
insane. Yeah, also, look at him. Look it up. He just ran. He knew it.
So I think that Alito should be recused should recuse himself, just because it doesn't matter whether it was his wife or not. Like, we're not going to mind read. The FBI isn't going to investigate text messages, so he should be recused for that reason alone. It's like this one case you don't get to touch off.
Well, the standard too, like, and to be clear, the standard is the appearance of impropriety. That's the whole
exactly.
point. Yeah.
Yes. So for that, I'm fine. But let me lay out a scenario. In what do you call it? If you have a security clearance, right? You're not allowed to have a partner that does drugs. The government will never tell you to break up with them, kick them out, whatever. But you have to report whether or not you are engaging with people like this. And if you report it, and it's like, well, are you still fucking with them? Like, that's going to be a hit against you. So do you think you find out your girlfriend smoked pot, or your wife smoked pot on a Friday night? Like, do you think you are obligated to break up with them immediately? Or that it's like, hey, you fucking don't do this again. And then you report it and say, hey, this happened, but it was resolved and it's never happening again. Like, do you think taking 2 days to like talk it out instead of just ending your relationship?
This is like the hyper niche, like, we're being hyperbolic. I think even Dan would admit, you don't divorce them immediately. But like, this would be a massive...
I didn't know if you guys were like serious.
No,
like,
but this is an egregious front. This is one of the biggest fuck yous to a partner that you could ever possibly give. It's an insanely disrespectful thing to do
absolutely.
to the
You know
marriage.
what a great example would be? What about if I put a giant, like, Hassan is the best flag in front of my house? How do you think Steve would react to that? Well, actually, he probably wouldn't give a fuck. But,
True.
you know...
He'd probably just assume you were joking with him.
Yeah, he probably would in that case. That's a bad example. Listen,
But it misses the point. Imagine you're married to a partner, right? Imagine if I had a wife and she was going online saying, "I think Hassan gives the best political commentary on the internet," right? Okay, well that's pretty. Yeah, that's you're kind of fucking me over hardcore there, right? Like, yeah, it would be insane. Yeah, but this is not a real argument. I don't understand. Or maybe just because Dan's the only one that's been married. Josiah, you're in a relationship, right? I don't know. That's probably not.
No.
You obviously have. Like, if your partner was to go onto YouTube and they were to start making videos about how, like, MAGA is the truth and Biden is like a child rapist or some shit, and then and they publicly traded on your name, right? They're like, oh yeah, like, I'm pondering politics as partner, like, blah blah blah. Like, yeah, it's so obviously I can't even believe.
No,
it's
not a real conversation.
That's why I don't think that, like, he wanted it, or like, I think he's smart enough that he knew that, like, you can't.
What are you saying, Lycan?
I'm sure they were fighting about it for 2 days, and he was like,
no,
you need to fuck
because here's my question too. Here's a question, because I haven't looked this up. Wait, real quick. If I go and look up Alito's wife, is it going to be she was like a fucking Starbucks barista, or is she going to be some Ivy League educated person who absolutely knows the implication of everything that's going on?
I'm saying she's wrong. Wait, hold on.
Okay,
just to be clear, I sorry, we're getting too heated. I'm saying she's wrong, and it was incredibly. I'm just saying I don't think Alito was like, yeah.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I think under any other circumstances, I might be inclined to agree that a rational person would probably be like, what the f have you brought down on me? The reason that I don't buy it here is because I think Alito is well aware that there's no real consequences to this. We aren't going to impeach him. We don't have the votes for it, number one. Number two, he's also gone on the record to say that he doesn't believe, he told, I think it was the Wall Street Journal, or maybe it was the Washington Examiner, but he went on the record during an interview and said he doesn't think that Congress has the power to regulate the courts. That's a verbatim quote. He genuinely believes he's unaccountable. And like the Supreme Court Code of Conduct, like even the recusal, right now, all that can be done is just people write sternly worded letters demanding that he recuse himself, and it's ultimately left to him. Even
You're muddying the waters, Isaiah. You're muddying the waters. Did he want that flag up or not? That's the question. Why did he take it down if he didn't?
He wanted it up, and he probably took it down because it was starting to kick
pressure.
up too much shit in the media. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so then he didn't want it up. So why did he want it up if it wasn't
No,
going
he
to
did want it up. He wanted
Hold
to
on,
make a
excuse me.
point, but he
What?
made
That's
it-
like saying.
Point to who?
Wait,
Point
wait,
to who?
hold on. Wait, was it first degree murder? Did you stab him with premeditated intent? Yeah, I did. Well, wait, hold on. But my client doesn't want to be in jail now. He doesn't want to be in court. So obviously he didn't want to do that. What the fuck? That you can't use the consequences of the action to say they didn't want to actually do the action because they didn't like the consequences? What are you talking about?
How was it a signal to the Proud Boys if there was never even public knowledge that this happened, or that he didn't make an effort to make
Who's
it
saying
public
it was
knowledge?
a public? Who's saying it was a message to the Proud Boys?
What was the point of this conspiracy? Dan is literally advocating for a conspiracy.
It's not a
He says that
conspiracy.
They got together and they were like, "Let's do this little thing to signal."
Well,
That's what he literally said.
It's not. No, hold on. I think what he said is his wife. Was
He
probably
literally
like,
said that.
Dan, do you
Okay.
think there was some crazy secret conspiracy, or do you think his wife was like, "Hey, I want to hang up this flag and I'm gonna do this shit because I support the Stop the Steal bullshit"? And Alito's like, "Yeah, fucking A, do it. Fuck him."
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly
that's it.
that.
Yeah, there wasn't. It was not some crazy. And then at some point, they probably started to get a lot of heat in the fucking media. And you
They're like,
know,
all right, fuck
Alito's
it.
like, let's. I don't know. And then eventually, he's like, okay, fuck, we should probably take it down. She's like, okay, yeah, fuck it. And then they took it down. That's probably what
Yeah,
happened.
because again, with respect, so we could flip it and say if he wanted the flag taken down, he could have just done it himself. He didn't even need to ask his wife, or he could have asked his wife and she said no, and because he jointly owns the property too, he could have just worked the flagpole himself. And instead, he let it up.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, just the regular 1 milk and sugar. Sorry, guys. I'm in coffee shop.
You fucking bougie bitch! You're
No,
probably in a
it's
coffee
Dunkin'
shop
Donuts.
somewhere. You need to order like JD Vance. Order whatever you're getting like JD Vance.
This is also a strategy so as to imply that the conversation is below him, and he's.
It's not a strategy.
It's so easy that he can order coffee at the same time. You think that these stats are going to work on me? I've been here when these strategies were fucking created.
His
Okay?
wife
Oh.
was a law librarian when they met, so she absolutely knows all of the standards
Thanks
and
so
everything
much.
at play here. She's not some random retard too.
Thank you. I think that you guys are reading too much into this. I don't think that he actually wanted the flag to fly, and I don't think you can prove that.
Oh,
We don't have to prove it.
well, I agree. We can't prove it, but this is
Oh,
a court
okay.
of law.
Well, no, it's literally not a court of law. We don't have to
Yeah,
prove any of this. It's just like, does
yeah,
it
it's just the
appear?
most likely.
Yeah, the
Yeah, it's
appearance
most
of
likely
impropriety. Yeah, probably it does feel pretty improper. It does feel pretty
So
bad.
you think he should be impeached and removed for the flag thing?
I didn't. None of us. First off, none of us said that. Okay,
Well, I said it
arguing-
later.
Steven literally
I said
said
it.
that.
I said it later.
I said
I did
He
say it
wanted
later,
to know.
and I think they
Okay,
should.
I
But if
did
he
that. I
refused,
did.
at the very least, he should have probably recused himself from these cases.
Of course.
I think.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, that may be the case, but that wasn't the argument we're having right now. The argument that we're having is what's the likeliest explanation for why this happened in the first place. And you are taking an extreme, like, attorney-style take, which is like, you can't prove that this is not true, therefore it is most likely. It is not the most likely outcome.
Or
The
even
most-
to clean up Dan's statement, because Pisco's playing the beyond a reasonable doubt standard. Dan is appealing.
No.
Dan is appealing to a balance of probabilities. It is 51%, absolutely, and Dan is correct
It's
there.
50. Hang on, but you said it was 95%.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, but we only have to
We're
prove.
gonna
That's
be
what we
at least
think, but we only have to
51.
prove 51%, which we've adequately
Oh.
demonstrated.
Well, then it's clear. I'm not applying a beyond reasonable doubt because I just said 85%, and so that's not beyond reasonable doubt. So I'm not doing that. Debunked.
Yeah, you're not doing that, and it's making me wonder. I should do a video on this. Your judgment, to be an effective attorney, you have to also be able to understand what the common jurist is going to think when you're out there if you ever have to go and plead a case, if you're talking there, right? And right now, you are saying some retarded shit, and they're going to be like, this guy, if he's willing to go and say something so wild right now, why should I take anything else he's saying seriously?
So what you're saying is, like, so first of all, what you're saying is it's not plausible that someone could hoist a flag or any
I
kind of
didn't
display.
say it wasn't plausible, so it wasn't likely.
Yeah, and also when you say that, you're you're appealing
No,
to
it's-
beyond a reasonable doubt. You say it's not plausible. There's no possible way that this thing could happen. Yeah, it's possible, even plausible, but likely.
But he's putting the percentage at like 1%.
We only have to put it at like 5 to 10%.
Well, he put it at like 1. He said like 0.5.
Hold on. We're not on the affirmative. You've gone by saying that you thought it was 85% chance that the husband
Yes.
had nothing to do with it whatsoever, and this is just a shocking turn of events, and he can't believe this. And I'm just going to leave it up for a few days, because, I mean, what the fuck can I do? That
I
to
think
you, you think that would be something that you would like to argue in front of a jury of common people that are married?
The common man.
Any day of the week, I think that I would argue that, given the evidence that we have, there's not sufficient evidence for me to conclude beyond a 15% chance that he actively wanted that sign up. And in fact, the evidence that I have shows that he wanted it taken down.
Wait, well, what is the only evidence that you have?
Is that he said that he wanted it taken down, and it came down.
Ooh, so that means if this was court, that means we could put him on the stand. That means we start asking him all sorts of personal questions. Would we be allowed to subpoena his fucking call logs, his text history with his wife? Would we be allowed to do that?
I think it's a big nothing burger. I think it's red herring.
How is it a red herring? Well, if he wants to testify against himself in his own defense, then wouldn't we be allowed to? We'd be allowed to look at those records. You don't think we would find a single email, a text? You legitimately believe that if we could see their text messages, he'd be like, "Oh, I can't believe you brought that up. Could you
They're
please
like
take it down?" And
75 years old.
Okay, emails, phone conversations, anything. You think that letters?
They probably talk to each other in person. I don't know why
Home
you guys
security
all assume
footage?
that they have.
Let me ask you. Let's be more.
You know what I
more
bet?
to
You
the
know
point.
what? If we could get their home footage, I bet we would see Mrs. Alito standing on the porch, okay, flipping the bird to the neighbors, and we'd see Mr. Alito in his fucking golf shorts. He'd be the one hanging the flag up, 100%.
I got something. It's an article, and I'm looking at it in chat. And I think it has his wife saying that it's like footage of them fighting or something, and his wife saying he doesn't like it, but I don't care.
Oh no, they probably just said that just cause to throw people off the scent. That's what Dan wants you to believe.
Hold on.
Dan wants you to believe that
hold
they're
on.
making these statements.
What chat you put this in?
Hold on, I'll give it to you.
Always bet on Pisco, guys.
I didn't see you in Destiny's chat, so.
Can you play it in here? Or
Yeah,
do
I
have
am.
to,
Hold on, I'm
listen to
looking
your
for it.
stream?
1 second. Because it's a fucking political article, so it's all.
I just have to refuel. Just give me a second.
Oh, the audio was posted on X.
I wanted to say hello to again. My name's Lauren. I met you last
Shut the fuck up, Pisco.
No, that's. I'm
sorry,
playing the
go ahead.
recording. I'm playing the recording. Sorry.
Oh my god.
So, anyway, I wanted to tell you.
What are we looking at? Exclusive undercover audio. Oh boy. Sam Alito, John Roberts, The Undercurrent. Justice Alito admits lack of impartiality with the left, says one side or the other is going to win.
My husband wanted to be here, but they had asked me a business thing. And just like, make sure that you tell Justice Alito that, like, he is a fighter and we appreciate him and he has all the grit. And I know.
This is a 7-minute recording. Hold on.
Just read the article.
Which part of the article?
Control F in a lengthy exchange, maybe. That might be the part. The next, 4 paragraphs.
And what date was this about?
This article was on 6/10/24.
Okay. And when is the recording from?
I don't know.
Well, that's pretty relevant to what we're talking about, no?
Sure.
God, I don't know why I trust you.
Well, I just remembered that this fucking came out and I Googled it. So.
You just picked a random recording? You didn't even do due diligence.
Sorry.
Hold on.
Well, no,
There we
I
go.
just remember the point.
Miss
I
Alito.
don't know when the recording is
I
from.
just met these ladies tonight.
Hold on.
It
did come out.
Hold on.
The
Wait a second.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's not okay, though. It's not okay.
It's okay. It's okay because if they come back to me, I'll get them. I'm going to be liberated, and
What
I'm
do you
going to
mean
get
by
them. Oh, well,
they?
there's a 5-year defamation statute of limitations.
But I don't know what you mean by they, like Oh, okay.
Come on, I'll get you. Come on. I was denigrated early on when we first came to town. And the woman then won a Pulitzer Prize. She was commenting on my clothes. She said that I wore a baby blanket one day, and the next time I had on a lazy boy recliner pattern suit. And so when she won her Pulitzer, I called her up and I said, hello, is this Robin Gavin of the New York Times? Yes, it is. I said, oh, I'm so proud of you. You're getting a Pulitzer Prize. I said, and will you be wearing Balenciaga? And she goes, no. I said, why not? She said, it doesn't flatter me. I said, oh, come on. Such a high-end thing. It doesn't flatter you? And then I said to her, you know, it's a beautiful day. It's April 2006. I said, maybe we'll go outside today in New York. It's really beautiful. Take a walk. Enjoy life. She never came after me again, but she went after Jane Roberts again. That's why she got her Pulitzer between Jane and me, criticizing the clothes that Jane put the children in and the clothes that we wore.
But why do you think they're coming after you?
They
I mean, like the whole like appeal to have heaven flag was like bullshit, right?
Right. But that's, you know, the other thing is the feminazis believe that he should control me.
He does.
So go to hell. He never controls me.
But like, I have the same flag.
Yeah, I know.
No, but like a lot of people fly that fucking flag.
Don't worry about it, baby.
I'm sorry. I should watch my language.
It's all right. It's all right.
I'm sorry. I did not mean.
It's okay. It's okay.
No, but it makes me so angry.
Don't get angry. Don't get angry. Get angry. Bye, baby. Bye, cat. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, meow. She's a bad girl.
Cat's escort, Louis.
Hi, Louis. Good to see you.
Likewise.
I'm Natasha. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Natasha. Yes, we're never going.
Okay. Jesus. This lady's fucking insane.
So-
Holy shit.
Whoa.
Hold on.
That's a private citizen.
That's the most
What's
retarded
likely-
recording I've ever heard in my fucking life. I actually muted in here because I wanted to hear the retardation first fucking hand. What the fuck do you expect this bitch to fucking say? Oh yeah, you know, me and my husband, we plotted together to do it, but I secretly did it by myself. Like, what?
Okay,
This is obviously
Dan.
what you would fucking say. This is like, first off, it's hearsay after the part. This is like so stupid to fall back on this and be like, oh, well, yep, this proves that, you know, she says that she's her own person and she would never. So like, I guess that's it. Like, bro.
Okay. Or let me go ahead and just cite to this. You're listening to the wrong part of the conversation. The conversation in question that you're all fighting about happens to deal with when she's talking about the neighbors and the flags. And she sits there and says, I'm going to be so glad when my husband is done with this thing of mine, because then I can act out and basically do whatever I want, and I won't be hampered or restrained by having to watch my own behavior in light of like his position. That's more or less the quote that came out of all of this.
Okay.
We are the champions.
I'm sorry. What would you expect these people to say publicly?
Well,
Oh,
technically
so
they're
they're
not saying it
all
publicly.
live.
They're being selfly recorded.
Uh-oh. The walk back.
If
I'll
they're-
take my apologies. One by one. Let's start with Dan.
You're actually more retarded for thinking that this makes you look better. This is like
Oh, it proves your point. It proves your point. Tell us how it proves your point. It doesn't even
If
distract
you're
from your
looking for,
point.
What do you think
If you're
this
looking for
proves? An
the specific
unrelated
thing.
conversation with her afterwards. Do you think that she's going to say, "Well, my husband controls me," and
Does it help me at all, or does it not move the needle one bit?
this is what you would expect someone to say when their husband is in controversy, right?
I asked you a question, Dan, and I don't know if you remember.
It does not move the needle at all. This is
Not
exactly
even
what
1%. That's how you know. So I'm going to ask Steven the same question. Does it move maybe 1% over?
It black pills me on the court. I'm going to. Okay, I'm playing this part because this looks like the relevant part that's coming up.
You know what I want? I want a Sacred Heart of Jesus flag, because I have to look across the lagoon at the Pride flag for the next month.
Exactly.
And he's like, oh, please don't put up a flag. I said, I won't do it because I'm deferring to you. But when you are free of this nonsense, I'm putting it up, and I'm going to send them a message every day. Maybe every week I'll be changing the flags. There'll be all kinds. I made a flag in my head. This is how I satisfy myself. I made a flag. It's white, and it's yellow and orange flames around it. And in the middle is the word vergogna. Vergogna in Italian means shame. Vergogna, Vergogna. Vergogna. Shame on you. You know. Anyway.
Well, I
He's
just
obsessed
want
with
to let you know.
flags.
So I feel like there's actually enough here for both sides to argue whatever they want. So Pisco is fixated right now on the idea that she does like flags, and she is into flags, and she wants to fly them. And he said, "Oh, please don't put up a flag." But I feel like on our side, we could very easily say, "Well, she cited, I won't do it because I'm deferring to you." which makes it sound like he does have the final say on these things. And she's explicitly
also-
saying
And it
here,
sounds like he has asked her to
she's
put it down
explicitly-
before.
Well, no, because in his letter to Congress, hold on, Pisco, you admit that she's either lying here or he lied in his letter to Congress, right? Because he said
Why?
it took a few days, whereas here she's saying, well, no, I defer to my husband. I'm not going to do something because I'm deferring to him, right? So one of them is lying in one of these conversations, right?
No.
What? Okay, how can both those statements be true at the same time?
Okay, because one refers to a specific instance, and the other says that I'm going to defer to Sam Alito. It's a kind of present intent.
You don't get to
of what I'm
pick
gonna
and
do.
choose from evidence.
No.
You take it as entirety
One
as the
pertains- hang on.
truth.
I just said something very clear, and I'm just going to repeat it again. One pertains to a present state of mind. That is, I'm going to defer to him. I'm going to defer to you in the future, and it's not in contradiction with the notion that.
Nope. That's not
Right,
true.
then
She said.
Then replay the quote.
Yeah, sure. She said, and he's like, "Oh, please don't put up a flag," referring to the past. And then she says, "I said
Oh, that's a
I
different
won't
flag.
do it." Yeah, it's the heart one. I said
Yeah.
I won't do it because I'm deferring to you. But when you are free of
That's a
this
different
nonsense,
flag.
I'm putting it up and I'm going to send it.
That's a different flag. It's a different instance.
So, do you think that in
something-
those 2 years, do you think she came to a dramatically different understanding of whether or not she would fly flags with or without her husband's permission first?
I'm not saying she can. I'm just saying it's not inconsistent with the notion that in that period of time for that upside down flag that she could have not deferred for 3 days. or
Yeah,
2
but
days
you
or
have no
whatever.
evidence of that. And here she's saying she does
Well,
defer
I have
to him.
Alito saying it, and I have her
You have
being
Alito
like,
saying
I'm
it.
obsessed
Yeah.
with flags.
That is
I
correct.
love
You have
these
the
flags.
accused.
I love owning
you have
the libs
guy,
with
You have the
flags.
guy who's accused of impropriety saying he didn't do anything improper. That is correct, Pisco, number one. But you have his wife saying, well, no, I do defer to him in terms of what I put up, and I can't wait till he's out of office.
Then why is it? Okay, yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Wait, no, what you said it. You were going to say it. You stopped yourself. You're like, okay, well, then why was it flown? Because they both approved of it, because they both wanted it up.
Also, this is.
So you think on net this helps you?
This would not even
No,
be
I think there's
admissible
enough
in
here.
a court case.
Don't worry about it, admissible or not. Okay, I think
Does
that,
it on net help me?
I
or
think
does
on
it net
balance,
help
I think
you?
it can point either way because you've got enough in here for either way.
Weasel.
It's
Weasel.
not. She literally says, "quote I won't do it because I'm deferring to you." You realize she's still put that flag up, right?
It's a different flag. That conversation shows a little bit. Oh God, please don't put up another flag. That's what it sounds like, Steven.
It sounds
And
like
you're
the flag
coping
went up
so
and he had to
hard.
fight her on it. The flag went up, he had to fight her on it, and now she's like, ugh, I got to deal with his shit. But like
You could say that, but that's conjecture. You don't know that. We have no proof
Or
of
it
that.
could
We
be
have no
just
evidence
the
of that.
backlash, or it could just be a consequence of the backlash that Alito received about the upside down flag, where now Alito's like, fuck it, I don't want to deal with this again. Please don't fly any more flags.
You guys sound like Russiagate.
I'm just
It's
saying.
also
this is not exculpatory.
I would
This
say
is not
that
exculpatory.
her conversation, this lady is batshit fucking insane. And the fact that he's married to her means he's
Hell
probably
yeah.
batshit insane too. That's the biggest evidence that came out of this one. She's fucking crazy. The feminazis. You're telling me that he's married to a woman who says feminazis and he didn't want that flag going up? I don't believe it. I think he loved it going up. I think he was clapping the whole time. I bet he hung it up himself.
You guys are crazy. Where are my YouTube conservatives? They're always calling me out. Do I have any
The
love?
problem
in
is
YouTube?
you simultaneously appeal to legal authority while also doing things that would never be admissible in court. This is just hearsay. If I murdered someone and then later there's a recording of me being like, man, my wife, she murders people. Fucking crazy. She loves murdering them. First off,
All right, Dan,
it's not
we're gonna
admissible.
leave
it. No.
Second off, it has
All right,
no
all right,
bearing on the actual
Oh, okay,
acting.
we're ready. You want to bring up legal
I'm
concepts?
still-
What
I'm
is
still
hearsay?
speaking.
What
I'm
is
still
hearsay?
speaking.
Oh, no.
What is hearsay?
What is my thing?
What is? Yeah, what is your thing? What is hearsay?
What is hearsay?
Yeah,
Hearsay.
it's hearsay.
Okay. Oh boy. Like I
Don't Google.
I have to get the legal definition of it.
Oh my God! It's an out-of-court statement offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted. Okay.
Okay.
That's
is that
what
not what this
hearsay
is?
So I would say that this is actually falls under some exceptions to hearsay.
It
I don't
would,
think that we.
So it is hearsay, but you're saying
No,
that it's
no.
exceptional.
I think it could be categorized as both non-hearsay, as in you wouldn't introduce it to show the truth of the matter asserted. We're not offering this to prove that, in fact, that Miss Alito or Sam Alito did say the statements that they're saying. We're offering it to show proof of their state of mind. And
Well, hold on.
If I
Also,
was
wait.
being
Wouldn't
tried
this?
for
Hold on.
murder-
Wait. Just to be clear, this wouldn't be considered hearsay because it's about the accused. No.
no, because Dan is right that it's a hearsay exception or an exclusion is an opposing party statement. And
No. Hold on.
Well,
If I murdered somebody and somebody took the stand and said Stephen
Yeah.
said he was going to kill the next day, that wouldn't be hearsay.
that's an
I'm
opposing
the
party.
accused.
I know, but
Yeah.
Dan is correct. Dan is correct because I would be using it in the defense of Miss Alito, and it doesn't help me because it's still hearsay because I'm not the opposing party statement. The other party could introduce it to go after me, but I can't introduce that that statement to help me.
Oh, 'cause you're
That's
looking
why
at it from
they
Miss Alito's perspective.
Yeah, anything you say can be used against you, not for you, because it's an opposing party statement. So I can use it to defend it. Yeah.
Like, for instance, if I was to kill someone and then later I would go and
I
call a
didn't
bunch
kill
of
anybody.
people being like, hey, I just had a great day, totally didn't kill anyone. Like, you can't, that's not evidence. That's just me, saying something to other people. I mean, it's meaningless. That's what you'd expect to have happen.
No, but this goes to prove her state of mind, a common purpose, what she's like. And what she's like is she's the kind of person who puts up flags and tries to troll her husband with flags and can't wait to put up flags to troll the libs. That's
But
who
you
she
can't,
is.
but you
And
can't
Alito,
simultaneously say that while in here she's saying, I don't do it without my husband's approval,
But
essentially.
that's after the fact. That's after she already had to deal with this, where it's like,
Yeah,
oh, my
they already have this big incident.
Okay. Well,
but we don't know if
guess
but they could have still been, because there was a big incident around this one as well, right?
Which one? Which the
She's
gay one?
referring
The one that she
specifically
never
to
put
the
up?
heart of, or the heaven of America, or whatever, or the heaven
That's
heart.
not what she's talking about. She's talking about a hypothetical flag she never put up.
Are you sure?
And
Yes.
what would you expect someone like
Wait.
this to say
The flag
to the
she's
public?
talking about is like it's the sacred heart, heart of Jesus. What was the one that went up? Was it something different?
Appeal to heaven or appeal to God. That's a different one.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Owned 133.
It's 1337.
Wait. Hold on. But that also disproves your statement, because earlier
Why?
you said that the blowback to the American flag upside down, that the blowback was so bad that she changed her ways. But didn't the appeal to heaven one come after that?
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh, so that means he must
Why?
have explicitly supported that flag then, right? Because you're saying she changed her ways after the blowback to the first one, right?
Maybe
I don't know when she changed her ways. Alito said in his statement, and this is consistent, that he didn't know that the appeal to heaven was a bad flag. He thought it was just a historical flag. It's consistent.
But he could have, but he could have voiced disapproval about it after he learned about it, because there was public controversy about both of these flags.
True. Owned. Absolutely destroyed. Holy shit. I just buried you.
No,
Yeah.
he said the stupidest thing of all
my
time.
God.
You guys are taking
Now
taking a little
that's how
sippy. A
we
little
feel
sippy.
when you start.
Oh my
screaming
God.
All right, I won't do it.
destroyed
I
you.
won't do it anymore. I won't do it anymore. But I just want
Asshole
everyone to be on
gaped
the
open,
record.
giant 16-inch diameter penis.
Steven does that more than anybody.
You got
Buckets
owned.
of
You got
cum.
owned.
You
got
can't
owned.
see
Sorry.
up to your eyeballs.
Pisco, you have not given an opinion on this as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
So we talked about impeachment and we talked about at least recusal. Obviously, you don't support impeaching your favorite justice over this, but what about him recusing himself from like Trump v. United
No,
States?
I don't think he should. No, I don't think he should recuse himself.
Gotcha.
Really?
Over this.
Why not?
Because I don't think it meets the standard. I think a reasonable person taking all these facts and taking Sam's facts as given, which I'm going to assume because I don't have anything to contradict it, that I think a reasonable person would not say that because of what Sam Alito's wife did, that kind of
Okay,
undermines
I'm
impartiality.
going to ask you to engage this seriously, okay? 1,000,000,000% seriously, okay? You don't think it would destroy the Supreme... Also, we all acknowledge the Supreme Court's legitimacy right now is at, I believe, the lowest ever in history, right? Imagine Donald Trump's Supreme Court case, the Jack Smith indictment, right? We know it's going back to the Supreme Court, right? Imagine that they end up dismissing basically every part of it, and they say that you haven't overcome the presumptive immunity barrier, like this is gone. Imagine if the next day the Supreme Court justices have the three liberals are flying flags of American flags, and then like the 6 justices are flying Make America Great Again flags. You don't think that just like that collection of stories on that day would probably almost permanently tarnish the reputation of the Supreme Court, or to completely?
But what I'm questioning is whether Alito had a role.
So
in
let's
putting up
say that in this example, every single Supreme Court justice's spouse came out and said, "Oh no, that was us that flew the flag, not our spouse."
If I believe them, then I would say, yeah.
Seriously? Really? Wait. Let's say, hold on, wait. Let's say that was actually true. Let's say the FBI investigated and found it actually was the spouse every single time. You think then it would be okay or acceptable?
Okay or acceptable to put up the flag, or okay or acceptable for them to not recuse themselves?
I guess either.
Okay, I don't think it's acceptable to put up the flag under any situation if it's a joint property because of the appearance of impropriety. And so I would say if you did not take active measures to take down the flag, including but not limited to talking to your spouse and getting it within a reasonable amount of time,
including but not limiting to taking down the flag, we're missing out on that part. I know this is like a crazy thing to do, going outside and using your hands to remove the flag, but
including fighting your wife if she tries to keep putting it up, right? Literally going
you
to fisticuffs.
you are, I assume, the man in this circumstance. Yes.
Or even
I am
even being the
man.
man. You're a Supreme Court justice or you're a married party, and now there's a huge conflict of interest here, such that both can't survive.
Yes. So if they wanted to maintain the flag and they wouldn't put it down, and every time you took it down, they put it back up because they have equal property rights, I would say you need to divorce or leave the house. 100%. I'm not denying that. I'm just going to give some reasonable amount of time for the justices to address the flag issue and take down the flag. And I'm going to give some grace for them to do it in a way that is reasonable, that doesn't necessarily immediately
I guess
divorce.
if you like,
I mean, that's all reasonable.
Sure. So I'm not. I think that your statements there, maybe for you, Pisco, I don't know if I would necessarily have as much of a problem with this, but I don't ever want to hear any of these fucking losers talking about the perceived legitimacy of the court or the pressures that they face as perceived, illegitimate justices or whatever. I don't ever want to hear that again. It never needs to be written anywhere. They don't need to be commenting on it. They should never say that again, right? Because clearly the appearance of impropriety for a body that has no protection for itself and can't enforce its own rulings, right, doesn't matter to any of them. No, don't you?
Yeah.
It's just so undermining of. It's so undermining of the court. Like me seeing this now, I hadn't looked into this story. Now I'm upset. I didn't know that on January 17th that he was flying "Stop the Steal" flags. Because now that
He wasn't. She was.
that I love you. I don't even believe in fucking marriage, okay? But as a guy that's been in a relationship, it just doesn't work that way. There's no shot you can be that closely like married to someone, or how long have these guys been together, and not share at least some type of like fundamental view with them. I can appeal to Dan, who's been married here, okay? I don't know if he's just debate brained and wants to fight with Bisco, but I think even Dan would say this. Yes, in ordinary circumstances, like I can understand you guys having very different beliefs outside of your respective areas, right? So like, let's say that my wife was like super into Ferraris and I kind of like Mustangs, but like cars aren't my thing. Maybe she would publicly fight me there. But like for us to both have an area that we are expertised or credentialed in, and then for her to come out and do something that backstabs and undermines me so much.
You know, Miss Thomas, Ginny Thomas, was like actively part of the Stop the Steal movement, right? Do you know this?
Yeah, she was part of the fake elector shit, wasn't she? What didn't she?
Wasn't hard.
Yeah,
in text message, all that stuff.
I think that's really bad. I think it's atrocious, right?
What should also Pisco on that front? I'm curious what your standards are. Should Thomas have recused himself from any J6 related case because of his wife?
No.
So
Really?
the fact that like, and again, at the end of the day, Americans don't know even anything about civics. It doesn't matter. But like the fact that Judge Cannon in Florida was able to at least stall trying to dismiss a case against Donald Trump, partially because of a concurrence written by Justice Thomas, who's a Supreme Court justice whose wife was a huge part of the Stop the Steal movement and maybe even criminally implicated herself in the elector scheme. That's
if she's on trial, yeah.
That's wild.
People are telling me in your chat that I should get the wall. They're calling me
Jesus.
Poopco.
Oh yeah, they've been intense lately, Pisco. It's all right.
The problem is that you guys are refusing to act like people. I don't know why. Like,
what do you mean?
Wait, what part, Dan? What part?
You
is
guys
it
are
acting
just
like people?
completely attorney debate brained and are not listening to reason at all. None of this makes sense.
What part?
Well, it's not about. It's not about.
Disagree
I think
on too much.
the big part that we're disagreeing on, I just think, is the role that a husband and a wife should play in the combined marriage they have and how close they should be.
I agree with you on that. I think Pisco agrees with you on that too, right?
I don't think you guys do.
That as your partner, like you shouldn't jeopardize your spouse's career.
Yes, of course, you should not do that. Ginny Thomas should not have done that. It undermines the integrity of the court. It undermines her husband. Yes, it's all bad.
I just don't. Yeah, and yes, she should know better, but so should almost everyone that you're researching in the J6 stuff, right, Stephen?
Yeah. What is that?
So
but I think I think all of those people should be charged and disbarred, and a lot of them are being. So I mean,
sure. But what I'm saying is, it's not hard for me to imagine a scenario where Justice Alito steps out with his morning coffee and his wife's like, "Look what I did," and he's like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah, I think that's probably what happened.
Yeah, but like,
and he
this
doesn't
is hold
go
on.
and just remove
This is
the
a
flag
state of
before
mind.
someone sees it?
But we can speak. Remember, Pisco, yesterday you asked me, what do you think the Russia people should do? And it was like, I would release a statement. I would have like a full, like, here's the contract I signed. Like, here's all the deposit. Like, this is everything, just so you guys know it's on the up and up. Like, this would be a thing. Like, if I was a Supreme Court justice, okay, hopefully I'm never here and these logs aren't shown to me, okay. If I was a Supreme Court justice, I stepped aside and I saw some shit like that, like, I would probably be making a statement or doing something proactively to say something about this. Because the perception was just so bad.
Well, it's fucking terrible. It's awful, yeah. I'm just saying that, like, if it took 2 days, it's like, I mean, it's hard to imagine some scenario where, I don't know, he's trying to go take it down and she's hugging the flagpole, and then it's like, well, what's he supposed to do? Physically remove her?
I doubt she's hugging the flag. There's no way it was.
No, I'm saying exactly. That's not happening. But I can imagine it's like, you need to fucking take that down. And she's like, nope, fuck you. I'm leaving it up. And then they fight about it instead of him just taking it down.
And these people are still married 2 years later, to be clear?
Or also, I'm sorry, even more closely here. But would we? Maybe this is a stretch, but then what other types of influence does she exert on him? Like, if she's able to make him undermine the appearance of the legitimacy of the court, am I to believe that she doesn't influence his rulings either, or his writings?
Classic Democrat who really hates women, and they're assuming the kind of behind the scenes woman who's like corrupting everything.
Good one, yes.
And what do you mean troll? That's what you're doing. You're saying there's a woman behind the scenes who's meddling in everything and affecting.
No. To be clear, you're the one that said that there's a woman behind the scenes meddling, because you said that you're giving all of the blame on this flag to her. So that's your story, that she's behind the scenes. She put the flag up. It's joint property. They both own it, but she put it up on her own without any involvement from him. That's what you're saying. She meddled in the reputation.
Because I believe in independent women who can do things because they have their own.
Well, she's not an independent woman. I don't know why you're saying that. She's a married woman.
So I don't believe in the doctrine of coverture. I don't believe that the independence of someone. I agree. You've made something. You've made a union, but you still have and retain aspects of your own identity. When you married the people you married, you retained aspects of your identity and independence. Yes, you created a union.
Let's just make this a little bit more extreme so we can see how retarded this is. Okay.
Pisco doesn't like
these. No. Let's go full retard, because I guess that's what we have to do.
A child porn flag.
Tomorrow, his wife puts up a flag that says "Kill all Jews." He said, I don't like that. He said, I don't like that.
I take it down.
3 days later, you can't just take it down. That would be crazy. Okay. 3 days later, he does it. Okay. Next day, kill all Indians thing goes up. The next day, another new flag. 3 days more goes up. This continues for the entirety of the Supreme Court justice's career. Is that okay?
No, I think there are certain flags that are
so it's I think that there are certain flags that are so incendiary. No, you already know.
Wait. If there are certain flags that are so incendiary, if you believe that January 6th was an insurrection, if you believe that it was an attempted coup, then you don't think that a Stop the Steal flag that's essentially supporting that insurrection or coup hung up at a Supreme Court justice's house, you don't think that's just as incendiary?
It's almost there. It's not quite for me. It's not the Nazi flag. And you would agree with this, right, Stephen? You agree it's not the same as a Nazi flag? You agree.
I'm going to sound hyperbolic, but I would say it's worse, because the Nazi flag, I don't give a fuck. Who the fuck? That's weird as fuck. You're flying a fucking Nazi. Yeah, there are no Nazis in the United States. I don't.
Dude, you don't even believe this. You don't even believe it as you're saying it. Are you serious? You're more offended.
Hold on. One of these is having a fundamental change of the way the American justice system, the American democracy is moving forward. The other one is a bunch of fucking retards that drape shit over highways that has no meaning whatsoever.
Dan, I understand you're Jewish, right?
Has nothing to do with anything here. We're talking.
Oh my God, he got you so good, you fucking Jew. Oh my God, the trap card. No.
Guys, let's everyone take it down a notch, because we're all.
I'm taken down, but you can't simultaneously say that it would be not okay for his wife to do this every day for the rest of his career, while simultaneously also saying that she's an independent woman that can do what she wants.
You're trying to avoid the point.
I'm not. No, you're not. You won't answer this. Either she has the independence to hang a flag and do that herself, or she doesn't. Okay? How much she does it has never been in the question here. If she does it every day or once, so is once a week a Nazi flag okay? Is once a week the J6 is a Y thing? Is that okay?
If I had a spouse that put up a Nazi flag, I would immediately.
Forget the Nazi flag. Let's just go with the one that she's already done. Because upside down America is done. Is once a week okay?
You want to avoid this.
It's not him. I don't. You won't answer it. Because you know that if you admit that it's bad for it to be once a week, it's bad for it to be once.
If there's a pattern of it, and afterwards
is there a pattern of them putting up flags that are bad?
There's a pattern, but then it was stopped.
Well, after like 2 or 3 times, right? that we know of.
Okay.
Don't we all
This
have
is like-
close family
Wait,
members?
wait, no, we're letting them dodge. Like, and I agree with you what you just said.
You're not letting them dodge. You guys are fucking fighting for
No,
time, trying to come up with some fucking reason, hoping that there's some
I know what
chatter
you're doing,
that's going to
Dan.
give you something
Dan,
to say. You're
Dan,
looking in chat
Dan,
furiously.
I'm playing
Someone out
Diablo,
there,
Dan.
please tell me
First
what
of
to
all.
I
say.
know, Dan. I know what you. Hang on. This is just to Dan. Dan, what's worse, the upside down American flag or the Nazi flag? Go.
The Nazi flag is worse.
Okay, so Stephen, you agree that you're wrong? Dan, a Jewish person, just
Hold
told
on.
you.
When we
the
say,
Nazi
in
flag
terms
works.
of like recusing yourself, again, Nazi, I guess like objectively, the Nazi flag would be worse, but for a Supreme Court justice to have them flying this flag
did
outside
you
their
just
house.
Backtrack what you just said.
No,
So you
because
just
we're
backtracked,
talking
right?
about we're
First off,
talking
it doesn't
about
matter.
we're talking.
Even
That's
if
like
we
asking.
disagree,
Hold on.
it's
That's like
semantics.
asking if it would be worse to have a flag, a Nazi flag made out of unrecyclable plastic versus an American flag made out of some fucking like I don't know. It's not.
You don't even
relevant.
understand what you're
The
saying. You don't even
no,
understand what you're saying.
Because the question about all of this is whether it threatens the legitimacy of the court and whether the Alito should recuse himself. If let's say his wife is flying a Nazi flag, should he recuse himself? Why? I don't know. Is he being asked to rule on Nazi things? That's way different than a stop the steal flag.
Which is worse, Sam Alito flying a Nazi flag or him flying the upside down flag?
The upside down one, 100 million %. 100 million %.
We've moved now. The initial point that they were pushing so hard on was that an independent woman can do what she wants and it should not reflect on the other person. And now we're moving off of that because we've given the example of what if she does it once a week? Because now it's not okay. Now she's no longer
Well,
an
even so,
independent woman.
it's not about how bad the flag is. We're talking about recusal, which means how much is your inability to be objective and impartial being called into question. And the Nazi flag has nothing to do with your impartiality for a stop the steal
badness
thing.
of a flag absolutely affects it. So if she had just put up a historical flag from the Union Army in victory against the Confederacy, you would say that flag, that she could keep the flag up. In fact, you'd be okay with that flag.
Wait, if what?
If they put up a Union battle flag that supported the American Union in the Civil War, you wouldn't have a problem with that flag flying at all. In fact, if Samuel Alito himself
it would depend. Like, let's say, for instance, I don't know if this was the case or not, but you know how they were removing those the Robert E. I want to say Samuel Jackson. The Robert E. Lee statues. You remember when they were removing the Robert E. Lee statues?
Yeah, I remember when they removed
if a Supreme Court justice's wife or whatever was flying Union flags defeating whatever the fuck in the Civil War, whatever.
You'd be okay with that. You wouldn't
no,
care.
absolutely not. Because now I don't know if you guys are flying flags supporting like the North of the Civil War, some bullshit while you're asked to rule on the tearing down these statues. No, that would severely call into question your impartiality. Of course.
So the same thing with the American flag, right? Why would you fly an American flag? It shows your bias towards America instead of people suing America.
I think you should be biased towards America. What do you mean? Or what are you talking about
In any case
here?
or controversy, there are individuals who sue the American government, but you flying the American flag could reasonably show bias that you're going to rule in favor of the government.
No, wait. That's not true. However, I think there are types of American flags for sure. So, for instance, you remember the Texas v. Pennsylvania case, right? Supreme Court original jurisdiction for state versus state cases, right?
Yes, I remember that.
What if somebody would have flown a Texas flag? I think that would be inappropriate. Yes. Or a Pennsylvania flag. That would be inappropriate. Yes. Do you agree?
Okay.
Wait,
What if
answer that.
Alito?
Do you agree that would be inappropriate?
It depends
On what?
on if they flew it right after the litigation started.
Either one. Before,
Why?
after, at
It's their
all.
wife doing it. Wife
so
doesn't represent them.
What if Samuel Alito's from Texas? He
Yeah,
loves
even if he's
Texas.
from... What if he fucked the ground in Texas and that's where his children came from? They crawled out of the ground in Texas. Sure. Yes. What if he is from Texas? That's fine. I'll grant you anything there. You think he should be flying that flag when he's asked to make a ruling on this? On Texas v.
Well,
Pennsylvania?
the only flag you can fly is the American flag if you're American justice.
Absolutely, because at the end of the day, your oath is to the Constitution of the U.S. of fucking A, not to Texas, not to some stop the steal bullshit. That is absolutely
Boston
correct.
Celtics flag.
If it's a sports team, then it's fine.
Uh-oh.
Fly your sports team's flags. It's not political. What do you mean?
God, what the hell? There could be like sports teams that come to the Supreme Court.
Okay, fine. If there is a sports team that ends up before the Supreme Court, then you also shouldn't be flying the fucking. If it's like the Giants versus the Chiefs, and you're flying a flag for one of the teams, or you're wearing a football helmet when you're listening to oral arguments, I would say that's inappropriate. Yes.
Also, are you off the part of the wife having an effect now and it being the same? Or do you want to go back to that?
We can go back to that. You think
I can go back to that. Just to be clear,
I'm
I'm pulling a Destiny on Pisco when I should be pulling a Pisco on a Pisco and forcing him to answer the questions because he hasn't answered any of my questions.
What's the question? What question?
Do you agree that it would be improper to fly the Texas flag if you were ruling on Texas v. Pennsylvania?
Yes, while that's in consideration,
Thank you.
it should be come down.
And afterwards, you probably shouldn't fly it either, at least for like a fucking year.
Well, for a year. Okay, for a year.
Okay, so then
I'll
we
give
agree
you
on
the
that.
year.
Cool. Okay. Cool. You agree that you shouldn't be flying a stop the steal flag when you're asked to rule on matters of election integrity, right?
You should not be flying a stop the steal flag.
Cool. All
You
right,
fucker.
Cool. Gotcha.
You should not be.
Okay, good. I agree. You shouldn't. Alito owns that property too, right?
Yes, he does.
Cool. Okay, cool. Gotcha. All right, just making sure. All right.
Okay, but he took it down, didn't he?
Eventually.
After a few days?
Uh-huh.
So what should be done with him?
Shouldn't have been flown at all.
Okay, but now that he took it down, what should be done?
Now you recuse yourself.
No, really?
Yeah, because now anytime, imagine these cases come down. Now, I know it's hard to imagine because the Supreme Court is so fucked right now, okay, that it doesn't matter anyway. But imagine it's a 5-4 court instead of a 6-3 fucked court, right? And now you've got these unprecedented, earth-shattering rulings, and everybody's posting this picture of a Supreme Court justice with a stop the steal flag outside of his fucking home after the rulings. What more can threaten the legitimacy of the court than stuff like that? It's unbelievable.
Where's my Trump supporters in the YouTube chat? Hey, Republicans, rise up. Make yourself known.
Oh, boy.
That's Pisco leading
I'm
the
about to.
Republican board.
Here we go.
I'm about to dunk. I'm about to dunk on Tiny.
Oh, man. You're waiting for some links.
All right,
No. This proves your point.
If you're a Republican, make yourselves known because you're about to get the most delicious dunk of all
here it
time.
comes.
So really get yourself ready.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Do you know who RBG is?
Oh, fuck me.
You're going to have me. Okay, yeah. RBG, the woman who decided to die on the bench so that Trump. Yes. You think I'm about to come out and defend this woman hardcore? Go for it.
We're going to skip to the end. So she talks shit about Trump.
Let me do the dunk. You're stealing my dunk.
No, because I think because Steven's not gonna he'll bite the bullet
No. He's
Joe, wow,
no
Josiah's
way
right. Hold on, wait. Hold on. Just based on like the 7 words that Josiah uttered, this is what it sounds like you're about to say. That she has made statements off the bench outside of a ruling where she is very clearly not a fan of Donald Trump. And then you're going to say, do you think she should recuse herself in those cases? I would probably say yes.
Disparaging remarks about Donald Trump.
Yeah, then I would say probably yes.
She's going to recuse herself. Okay, really?
Yeah.
Excuse me. Hold on, Pisco. The entire foundational point of the immunity ruling is that every person in our court is so fucking retarded that they can't make a proper decision because of how politically mindfucked their brain is. That was Roberts, and the whole 6-3, the whole concurring opinions was that people are so retardedly politically biased they can't possibly make these decisions. So yes, if a Supreme Court justice is out there disparaging somebody that they're supposed to make a ruling on, you should probably recuse yourself. Yeah.
Okay, then what about Judge Merchan?
Oh no, not Judge Merchan.
Judge Merchan in the New York indictment of Donald Trump, the first indictment ever of a former president, the first conviction of a former president ever, donated money to Joe Biden. That was improper. He should have recused himself, right, Destiny?
No, that's completely different.
That's
why?
We're at a totally different thing.
Okay.
Why? Why?
You can't make leaps.
We're at
like
a hold on, wait. If Alito came out and he said something like, if Alito had made a statement, even making a statement is wrong. If Alito donated money to Trump, I don't know if I would put that on the same level. Now we're on some very close First Amendment. Like, you have a right to donate to whoever you want to succeed.
And you have a right to fly a flag.
We're not talking.
That's not a distinction.
Sure, hold on,
you're
sorry.
Giving money, you're showing your support.
Hold on. You are, but it's. I think it's of a different kind. I think that we're talking about.
What if you gave $100,000 to the super PAC?
If you gave
hey, what about if they just voted for Joe Biden?
Yeah, now what are we gonna?
That's private. That's private. Listen, I'm not the one having the standard.
You want to talk about that anymore?
Wait. I will. No, you should not recuse yourself. No, you should not. So,
but you publicly supported it. You said you voted for him too.
If you said you voted for them, I think that you should be warned. You should have a warning, and you should be told not to do it again. If you do it again,
this is just
listen. I have a workable standard. You know, you guys are saying that anything that indicates your
whatever standard.
I never said anything. I didn't say anything. What were the things that we said? If you're making disparaging,
flying the Texas flag.
No, here we go again.
Flying what do you? Hold on, everybody. Hold on. He's doing a Reddit argument. Okay. Flying the Texas flag, no sane human being, okay? No sane human being is going to just see that as you just like, I just wanted to fly that. I thought it'd be funny. Every sane human being is going to look at that and say, yeah, I could definitely see impropriety there, or at least the perception of impropriety if you're doing that.
Not donating money to a political campaign for the rival of the person who's been indicted.
I think you might be able to argue that depending on when it was donated. When was it donated? Did the
election in 2020?
When was the indictment?
2023.
then
I mean, it would be an
hold on.
argument for them
Then
to
I'm
make
not
in front
even
of
sure.
court.
No, hold on. If they had like dropped the indictment and that day they like donated $5,000 to Biden's campaign, then this looks kind of stupid, and I think you can make an argument there. But no, has ever donated to the campaign like loses the ability to ever do an indictment? No, that's also.
But if you fly a flag one time for 3 days, you lose it.
Also, hold on. So not only one is your example dog shit, because you're talking about a donation in 2020 and an indictment in 2023. Not only is your example dog shit, an indictment is something that's involving tons of different people. Now you've got
ready for the second dunk? Ready
What?
for the second dunk? Ready for the
Sure,
second
okay, let me just
dunk?
finish my point. An indictment involves a grand jury. It involves all of your investigators. It involves probably some input from your attorney general, I would imagine, right? Your state attorney general. You've got a whole bunch of people implicated here. That's a lot different than just a Supreme Court justice whose final word is law on matters deciding how we interpret our Constitution.
Oh, so now it's different.
Sorry, Piska, before you dunk it, when I think about what you're saying, because you're kind of losing me on the he voted for or donated money to.
He should.
it's
He
that
lost everybody
These people are allowed to engage in politics, have their own private politics, whatever. But when it comes to the bench and comes to defending the Constitution, what we haven't seen lately is them actually keeping their biases, like deciding to go and revisit Roe v. Wade and overturning it.
No, you can't do that. Can't do that. Can't look to the decisions, in my opinion, and assume, well, because this occurred, it occurred because of that, right? It could be the case. Recall,
you can't say for sure, but you can speculate pretty confidently.
I'm not so sure about that, bro. Number one. Number two. Here's the second dunk.
Well, the first dunk, because the first dunk wasn't a dunk, so now we're trying to first dunk.
The RBG dunk. Well,
no,
I guess
it wasn't because I bit the bullet on it.
You bit the bullet.
Easily.
Yeah, you bit the bullet.
Yeah,
You're
easily.
like, yes, RBG should have recused herself for everything involving Trump? What are you talking about?
If you're going to come out and make disparaging comments about a candidate?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. For sure.
That's not even
a hard one. That was easy.
Yeah. Why would you?
Josiah, do you agree?
That was an easy one.
Josiah, do you agree?
I agree that RBG, because I didn't know about this until like the Alito flag controversy happened and someone brought it to my attention. And she didn't recuse herself. She apologized, I will say, publicly afterwards, saying that she shouldn't have made the comments. But yeah, she should have recused herself on every case, at the very least, involving Donald Trump as a private party. Now, I don't know.
Why not as the government itself? It shows that she doesn't like his administration and she doesn't like him as a president. And so why shouldn't she recuse herself for everything, including in his official capacity?
I mean, I'm open to that. Just seems like that's even wider.
It's too high of a standard for recusal here, folks. It's too high. I'm not someone who says that Judge Merchan should have recused himself from the indictment. I just want to be clear. The donation was like $35. I agree.
And it was reviewed by an ethics body.
I agree. It was. Listen, I agree. It was. Hang on a second.
And dismissed.
Do you think I didn't know that, Stephen? You think I didn't know?
That was a sneaky one. Oh, Pisco pulled a sneaky. Wait. Oh, I'm sorry, Pisco. Who reviews the Supreme Court stuff again? What's the next court that you go to for them?
Oh my God! You really think that?
Oh my God! He tried to pull a sneaker there. Okay,
guys, I'm not the one having the ridiculous standard. I don't think Merchan should have recused himself. But all I'm saying is, let's be even-handed about this. All right, that's all I'm saying. And your standard, which is
no, you're not. You're looking for a legal line in the sand, and this is wet work. Okay. This is a jury of your peers deciding if something should be or should not be. And you are trying to be like, nope, because of this exact one thing. It doesn't work that way. Do most people around you, are they going to look at the situation and be like, that dude can't be...
I think most people would look at RBG's comments and be like, that was stupid. She shouldn't have done that. Don't do it again. I think that's what most reasonable people would say.
Well, here's the issue. So her statements had to do with I'm reading this now. So statements about I think it's insane he hasn't turned over his tax returns. What if Congress tried to pass a law, okay, and they said every president should turn over their tax returns, and it was passed in a Democrat Congress, and then it ends up before the Supreme Court for review, and it ends up 5-4, they decide, yeah, presidents should have to review their tax returns. And then let's say that Donald Trump, in his tax returns, it comes out that he was like a prolific renter of fucking blockbuster porn or some shit, and he loses the election or something, right? You don't think that conservatives are going to be looking at RBG statements and like, wow, crazy that the Supreme Court justice that thought it was ridiculous that Hillary Clinton was being held to a higher standard than Trump ruled on Trump's case about how am I supposed to believe? Was she making matters of constitutional interpretation here, or was this just she fucking hated Donald Trump?
So know. Steven doesn't know. Steven doesn't
Okay,
know.
Pisco's going for what he's going to call for his third dunk, which is going to be his first attempted dunk. Let's go. Yeah.
He's waiting for someone in the YouTube chat who sent him a
I
link.
don't
You might
think-
want to
hang
read the
on.
link before you try to say it's a dunk. I don't know what it is. but-
Conservatives, rise up. I need you to rise up in the YouTube chat. Make yourselves known, conservatives. If you support red-blooded Republicans, make yourselves known, all right? You know what case came before the Supreme Court?
Can we ask the YouTuber that gave this to you?
Abortion? An abortion case? Is that where we're going?
No, I don't need
The Trump tax
YouTuber
cases.
Oh yeah,
You
he
can't
knows.
say you don't need.
He
YouTubers when you're
knows
telling them to rise
the
up.
exact litigation involving the reveal of Trump's taxes, and Stephen didn't even know that. Stephen didn't even know.
Steve,
that
but-
Wait. You understand? Hold on. I'm going to say what Josiah's about to say. These are only dunks if you are like substantially forcing me to either hold contradictory opinions or to reevaluate. If you're going to tell me that this went before court, Josiah knows. What are you going to say, Josiah?
That he was going to bite the bullet and say that she should have recused
Exactly.
herself.
Yeah, I would say that easily. Of course, 100%.
I think it's too high a standard. I don't agree with that.
So what should the standard be?
too much.
What should the standard be? Wait. What should the standard be?
You get a warning. You get one flag. You get one warning. You get a flag. You get all that stuff. You get a warning.
Yeah, but that's not the law. That's like your fucking weird interpretation. Okay.
You get one.
The law is a jury of your peers determining innocent.
Well, careful, because we're talking about Supreme Court stuff. There is no jury here.
What are you talking about? You talking about hearsay? You don't know this shit, Dan.
Whoa.
I
You don't know
know.
it.
I mean, if you're gonna try and fall back on it, you can, but it's not gonna go well for you.
Pisco, the standard is appearance of impropriety.
True! Because, just to be clear, let me quote the guy that you love so much that you're simping for, okay? Alito, okay? I didn't know that this is your favorite justice,
I
okay?
do not like Alito. He's my least favorite justice.
It says that a justice should disqualify himself or herself in a proceeding in which the justice's impartiality might reasonably be questioned.
Yeah, reasonably.
That is, where an unbiased and reasonable person who is aware of all relevant circumstances would doubt that the justice could fairly discharge his or her duties. You don't have to prove, you don't have to say that, oh, they're absolutely going to be partial, they're absolutely going to be biased. It's where a reasonable person might question the impartiality. That's the standard.
Okay.
And I think a reasonable person would look at a stop the steal flag flying outside of a Supreme Court justice on January 17th and go, do I want this guy determining the future of presidential powers?
What if you knew the facts? What if you knew the facts that this is like a flag lady?
We don't know. The facts that we're talking about here are the only relevant facts are that it was Alito's house and that the flag was flying outside of his house. You're
That's the
asking
only
us.
relevant thing. So if a vagrant put it up and without Alito's knowledge and he's on vacation, it's up there for 3 days. That's the only facts that matter, according to Steven.
I think that there are some matters of public record. If a vagrant put it up, sure, but his wife putting it up, no, that's not good enough.
Yeah, and so
that's not
in
good
all
enough.
seriousness, I'm curious, what does her being a flag lady have to do with anything? Because again, he should be aware of the standard that it's about appearance of impropriety.
True.
So the fact that it's his property just as much as it is hers, and he's aware of the flag, if we take him at face value, which I'm not entirely sure we should, because apparently there's some dispute over the timeline in the first place.
Yeah, there's some timeline stuff. I agree. There's some timeline stuff.
Right. But why?
If he lied, he should be impeached or removed.
But I understand. But so put your Sam Alito. You know that legitimacy of the court is based entirely on whether or not people think you're impartial.
On appearance.
That appearance of impropriety is the exact standard.
Yes, and that's why he tried to take the flag down.
Say, I beg your what?
That's why he tried to take the flag down.
It shouldn't have went up.
Why did? And
But
if it
he
did go
bring it up,
then why didn't he take it down himself?
Pisco right now is defending his client, saying, of course my client knew that the rape was wrong. That's why he took his dick out of her. That's what Pisco's saying.
Dude.
That's what Pisco's saying. That's what Pisco's saying.
Yeah, but after 2 days of being in there.
He said he took his dick out. He knew that the rape was wrong, so he took his dick out. That's what Pisco's saying.
That's a bad faith comparison. Like, he's saying that, like, he's not going to go rip it down. He's going to fight with his wife for a couple days. Like, no, you need to take that flag down. She's like, no, I don't want to.
That is
he's taking
what you're saying
reasonable
is
effort
retarded.
to take it down.
No, that is not reasonable effort to take it down. Okay, if
It's not reasonable effort to talk over 2 days.
Swastika in front of my house, we're not gonna have a conversation about it for 2 days.
I agree. There are certain flags for which it's so inflammatory that you need to take it down immediately.
Like a stop the steal flag 11 days after January 6th.
Yeah, that's not inflammatory.
Well, wait, Stephen, you agreed that there would be different standards for the Nazi flag.
But
I
that's
don't.
not
I
what
think
you
the Nazi
said. See,
flag
now-
would be
now, wait, that
better
was a-
here. I think it would be
that
better
was
than
a
the
bait
stop
and
the steal
switch.
flag
Wait a
on
minute,
January
really?
17th.
That was a bait
Really?
and switch. You said, Pisco, you said that some flags are so inflammatory. It doesn't matter if a Nazi flag is more inflammatory than a Stop the Steal flag. By I think a lot of people's standard, the Stop the Steal flag is sufficiently inflammatory that it would
Require immediate removal as opposed to like the
Yes.
Boston Celtics flag if there's a Boston Celtics litigation. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I think that given the circumstances,
I don't even think that that's a fair comparison either, because outside of its relevance to ongoing litigation, a Boston Celtics flag is not inherently incendiary, I guess, unless you're, I don't know what the rival team is, like the Knicks or whatever. I have no fucking clue. But
I mean, here's the question. Let's say that it's long established that, you know, Judge Ginsburg, the late Judge Ginsburg, was like a huge New York Knicks fan. Do you think, and has a bunch of New York Knicks gear, has met the New York Knicks, and then there's a case involving the Celtics versus the Knicks, do you think that she should recuse herself? Or can she be assumed to reasonably adjudge the legal situation?
These are things.
I would say,
that
hold
are
on.
just-
She shouldn't have to recuse herself.
Okay, why?
Because I think that there are going to be some things that are of such a non-serious nature that it's not. It wouldn't be like if, let's say there was a ruling
No, it's
where
a perfect answer.
Yeah.
No,
Let's say
it's-
let's say that SpongeBob SquarePants was this person's favorite show. They had every single SpongeBob SquarePants collectible, all the things like that, right? And that there was a case involving SpongeBob SquarePants and regulation that came up before the court. I would expect a Supreme Court justice to be able to rule on that 100%. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Well,
what- wait,
the
what if
dominant
it's-
sounds simpler, Pisco. I know you're making memes here.
I'm sorry.
What
I'm not
about
making
if-
memes.
What about if Dan, known enjoyer of cats, his whole life, can we expect him to be impartial on a ruling about
Whether
a pit
cats
bull
have
killing-
rights?
About a pit bull killing someone? He doesn't like dogs. He likes cats. Yes.
Okay, so-
that would
okay,
not
so-
come into it because you would expect that it is not such a defining part of my life that it would dictate for me to not have any sort of reason on the decision.
Oh, wait.
That's why this matters. These are very political, serious issues.
Yes, wait. Also, let me refine that a little bit, okay? So Dan just said, and I think we all agree, that if Dan is a lover of cats, okay, and somebody killed a cat and that came before the court, that Dan probably shouldn't recuse himself, right? He shouldn't recuse himself, right? We all agree with that?
No, because I think Dan has said he doesn't like
Stop.
dogs.
Pisco, you agree with that, right?
I agree that he probably doesn't need to recuse himself.
Okay. What if Dan had 20 years of activism as a chief, of PETA? Do you think that he should be involved in a Supreme Court case relating to
Involving PETA?
rights of animals or something?
Depends.
Okay,
I
that's
don't know.
enough. That's enough for me.
Harder
The fact that you even said depends shows that yes, then it
Well,
would
hang on,
depend.
hang
Yeah.
on. If the question presented, if it's a legitimately a PETA case, I think you should recuse yourself for sure. If it's about animal rights in general, you have to recuse yourself from anything involving animal rights. Like, let's say it's about whether or not cats can have copyright ownership rights. You have to recuse yourself for that because you worked with PETA for 5 years?
I said 20 years. But probably maybe not. Maybe not for a general thing. But at least anything involving PETA or anything that directly implicates PETA, right?
I think that's fair. But like,
Dunked,
'cause we
absolutely
literally
destroyed,
have-
oblivited, obliviated,
that's
annihilated.
not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about here is a flag that he didn't fly. According to
You're trying to completely change things now. We've given a point of what's happening. You're avoiding what's we're talking
what am I
about.
changing?
This is a serious issue. Judges can be impartial on things that they've made a decision on, that they have personal preferences on. It's a factor of how important and how much it weighs into what they do. Me liking cats more than dogs does not disqualify me from having a say on a case that comes before me about cats and dogs. Me flying a upside down flag when I'm talking about, or sorry, when I'm going to be ruling on J6 issues is absolutely a totally different matter of way higher standards. And the fact that you don't want to even engage with this is like, I don't know what to say to you, man. They're different things. You can't apply the same standard to everything. They have to be different things.
Cat dog. Cat dog.
Are you waiting
Alone in the
for-
world with a little cat dog. Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for you to say something that I should care about.
Okay.
Who's that in the background?
Me.
Dan, I think you're just doing this performatively.
I'm not a professional attorney or a professional debater, but I will say
You're not
Feels
impressed?
good to be back in the ring. I am not impressed.
Bro, you're literally sitting here saying RBG should never rule on a Trump case because she said like he should reveal his taxes.
How does it make you feel that someone as old and out of the game as me?
I'm the best there is. I'm S tier, and you know it. I've never lost a debate with Steven.
This fucking community needs a better class of villains.
Listen, while Steven is gone, I'm just saying all we should do right now, all of us should be united in one respect, which is that we should be happy because all of us have advocated for this, including Dan at some points. He's gone pretty hard on it about Steven becoming more adversarial with Republicans and embracing Democrats pursuing radical change to defeat them.
Yep.
That is good shit. That is phenomenal.
Okay, but do you guys think that I'm like biased in favor of Trump or MAGA?
No, of
I
course
have
not.
come on here.
Of course, no.
So anti-Trump.
No, bro.
Anti-
Memeing aside, the only thing where I think we genuinely have a disagreement is I think you are inclined to give the institution of the Supreme Court and its justices more of the benefit of the doubt than I am. Memeing aside, I think that's the only difference. We just draw the line at different places.
I don't know. I feel like the fact that I'm coming from a place of very anti-MAGA, very anti-Trump, that I want a system that's workable, I think should give me some bona fides to be like, hey, I see where you're coming from, but maybe this is not the right one, Chief. Maybe we should be focused on other areas of misconduct.
No, listen, I think it's a good faith disagreement, but I also think, I mean, again, I think part of this is because you're an attorney, you're an officer of the court. I think part of your training is to give deference to judges that the rest of us don't have. This court, we talked about this before.
You understand how hard I criticize all these?
No. Of course, I'm not saying that you're not critical of the court. I'm saying that I think that this is, my suspicion is this is one area in which that law school training, I think gets the better of you. Yeah, because at the end of the day, and we talked about this on Live and Learn and other places too, the way that the court is currently constructed, there are no checks on it. And so, being very blunt, I think the court in its current configuration, if you're going to be effectively an uncheckable body, you have to be fucking perfect. I'm sorry. I don't think you get to preside over cases if your fucking wife or your spouse, for any of the female justices, are involved, materially in ongoing litigation. Like, I'm sorry, Clarence Thomas should have absolutely written in blood that he would never go anywhere fucking near a January 6th case because his wife was involved. He was the one dissenting vote on the FBI January 6th text case, if I remember correctly. Like, what a disgrace. I'm sorry. If there were other checks, like the Mershon case, that's why, even though I understand why people are upset about Mershon's appearance of impropriety with that $35 donation, at least we can say this was reviewed by other bodies. There are checks against it. There's a process. This court polices itself. And if you're going to police yourself in America, you better be fucking perfect. You don't get to do the shit that a president or a congressman or a senator can. You got to be a goddamn android. And if you're not, then I'm sorry. The standard should be ruthlessly high.
You have to be a step above, not a step below.
Yes, 2 steps above, 3 steps above.
Yeah, so do we think it should be like a constitutional thing that Supreme Court justices can't participate in politics in any way? They can't vote. They can't.
Nobody.
I don't know how you would word it.
Hold on. I'm not strawmanning. I'm being serious. Like, are there ways that we should limit engagement with politics? Like, should it be on the books that fucking it is explicit that I can't remember, Thomas has done something impeachable by accepting that fucking RV, going on those vacations?
That's the area where there should be more investigation into that financial thing. I think that's a legitimate area of investigation. By the way, I also think
PCO thinks you can't accept any gifts anymore. Good one.
Yeah, what about if it's a gift to your wife? Is that okay?
You guys are strawmanning me. No, this is what I think. I think you guys are living in a kind of unworkable system. That's all I'm saying. A lot of these people are previous members of administrations. You know, we have SGs. John Roberts was a Solicitor General. Elena Kagan was a Solicitor General. And there are a lot of assumptions in the law that we just, we have to rely on people being able to put aside their biases reasonably. Now, I always point to this story, and it's one of the foundational stories in all of law school, and I'm going to do it again. John Marshall, sitting in the Marbury versus Madison case, that entire case was premised on his own failure to send a commission to Marbury. And he oversat on that case, right? And he was also part of the administration the outgoing Adams administration. Taft was the Court the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court after his administration. And so, like, let's try to be a little bit more, I think, reasonable, good faith, and give some allowance for historical political involvement for some of these people who are just people. They're going to have private beliefs.
No, but I think that actually makes the opposite point, which is that the Supreme Court never worked as advertised, even going back to the founding. That was my argument, and the argument I was encouraging you and Stephen to make when you had your throwdown with Lactoid and everybody, which is, the Supreme Court's supposed to be this apolitical party. The founding fathers use it as a fucking political football. Adams used it as a football against Jefferson. He shrank the size of the court to prevent Jefferson from packing the court. Those are founding fathers. The court has always been, to one extent or another, a political institution that has been weaponized by the political branches. They've changed the sizes of the court for political reasons. They've altered jurisdiction. I think actually what you're saying is it's never worked as intended, and perhaps it's another reason why there should be reforms to rein them in. Because like with other justices, like it's funny, we're talking about somebody mentioned, it was Dan or Steven mentioned it earlier, Judge Cannon. Like, I think what Judge Cannon did dismissing that case against Trump was pretty fucked. But you know what the great thing is? There's a higher body that Jack Smith is now appealing to. It was the 5th Circuit, 11th Circuit, 7th Circuit, whatever it is. Like, there are checks on her. And maybe it's unlikely that he could get her thrown off the case, or maybe it's unlikely that it gets reversed on appeal, but at least there's something. With the Supreme Court, it's the only body in the federal government where there is no practical check on it. When I interviewed Sheldon Whitehouse, he said it. He goes, we can fucking investigate the president of the United States. And Pisco, you may not want to hear this, but the president was always intended by the founders to be more powerful than the Supreme Court. We can investigate the president. But there's no fact-finding mechanism for the Supreme Court. I'm sorry, it's just unacceptable. There has to be reforms. Last thing I was going to say, or if there's not, then the Supreme Court has to be fucking perfect. You don't get to have political opinions. You don't get to voice political opinions. You got to be a goddamn robot. That's my opinion. I feel very passionate about this.
I know you do. I want to make two things clear. Number one, I was wrong. John Roberts wasn't SG. He just worked in SG's office. I just want to clear that up.
Yeah,
really wrong about that. Number two, I got a question. If Alito had flown the flag, do I think that people believe that he should recuse himself, and should he recuse himself? I do believe that if Alito was the person who flew the flag, he should recuse himself. I just want to make that very, very clear.
What about if he lets the flag stay up?
If he lets the flag stay up and doesn't take reasonable efforts to take it down, I also think that he should recuse himself.
Can I ask you, what's a reasonable effort to take down a flag that's in your backyard? I'm very curious.
Yeah, I think having a conversation with the joint owner of a property and having it taken down within a few days, I think that's reasonable. I can't define the exact perimeters of it, but I think that that's reasonable. I think most people would say, hey, he tried to take it down. It took a few days. He wasn't trying to he was balancing multiple interests, the relationship with the wife, that kind of thing. And I think most people would give him the grace, give him 5 days to take it down. I think that's reasonable. Reasonable.
So hypothetically, let's say that the wife was, dressing him, right? I guess a little bit, and he was dressing him, putting his outfit out for him in the morning, right?
Okay.
And there was a big old "I hate Joe Biden" shirt. What's a reasonable amount of time for him to remove that shirt from his body? Should he have to have a conversation at first about it?
No.
Why not? His wife made the decision for him to put that on.
His wife laid out a shirt that says "fuck Joe Biden," right?
Yeah, sure.
He puts it on. That's him taking an active
step.
Well,
he didn't know right away though, right? Because it was inside out, and when he put it on, it's only after then did he see what it said.
I would say that he should take it off immediately, and if he doesn't, that's a problem. Because he has complete unilateral control over what's on his body, not in the same way as joint ownership.
He does not have complete unilateral control over the flag in his yard.
There's someone else in the yard that has equal and opposite, property rights, and they're just as much rights for him to take it down as her to put it up. And so that's a difference that matters. I think it would matter to you.
Property rights give exclusive control. Well, I mean, it depends if it's and versus or on the title. But that said.
Let's say
either way, we can agree that he has
I have another thing for you. Let's say that Samuel Alito is a conjoined twin. All right, sure. Samuel Alito has a twin. Why are you laughing?
Crazy shit. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I think it's good because it takes away
I am so curious. If a conjoined twin kills somebody, do you have to serve the prison sentence along with them? Have we ever had this question brought before our court? Has this ever happened?
Stop it.
I think
don't
the
know.
problem that I'm having right now is that you're being unreasonable with the amount of time that someone should have to remove the flag, and multiple days is not it.
It's too much, you're saying. So our disagreement really is about, you agree that reasonable effort to take it down suffices.
Actually,
you don't
wait.
agree that reasonable.
I think that actually is a center point. I think me and Dan would both say it's fine if, let's say there's video footage of like Alito comes home from work at the court. He drives home from work, and there's video footage of him. He gets out of his car. And he's like, "What the fuck?" And he runs over and he's like taking down the flag. Or you see him run inside. He's like shouting at his wife, and then he comes out and he takes down the flag. Then I think we'd both say like,
fine.
Yeah,
Yep.
fine. Yeah.
But what if the wife comes and is like, "You can't take this down, the neighbors," and he's like, "We're gonna have a conversation about this. I'm not gonna fight you right now in front of this camera, but we're gonna have a conversation." And then storms inside. What do you think
Has
about
that
that?
been alleged that that's been
No,
the case?
it's a hypothetical.
But
Even
did
at
he
that-
take the flag down first? Did he take the flag down
No,
first?
he
and she
tries
put
to,
it
and
up
the
after?
wife's like, "No."
Has that been
Yeah,
alleged?
wait,
that
I
he
don't
did?
know. Wait. To be clear, I don't know if it would change my mind, but it would move me quite a bit. Yes, it would
Yes.
move me quite a bit.
I mean, isn't it reasonable that it, like, I don't know, instead of just storming out, is like, again, go take it down? And I don't know, just the fact that he doesn't take action immediately is.
This is, by the way,
What if she says, like, I'm going to put it
Hold
right
on.
back up?
I want to go
as
back to
soon
the
as it's done?
conjoined
I'm
twin.
sure you do want to go back, but this is where you lose normal people. Okay, when you're setting a standard here, normal people will get lost, and it's like, oh, I came home, I saw an extremely offensive thing in my yard, and I left it there. That's not a reasonable thing to expect to have from someone. It's not when that type of
it's
thing
not fair
happens.
when someone-
First
No
thing
one
I
would
would
do
do.
that. No one
The
would do
first
that.
thing I would do is go inside and be like, "Why the hell did you put that up?"
That's
Isn't that the first thing you would do? What would you
No, if using an extreme
Nazi flag?
example, if there was a Nazi flag in my front yard, I would remove it as fast as as possible.
Okay, I would remove
and then
the
I would deal with
swastika
it. So you would remove it as fast as possible, and
Yes,
then
I
deal
would.
with
I
the
would remove
follow-up?
this. Yes, I'm making a distinction between the swastika and the upside down flag. I thought that was a reasonable distinction to make.
No,
but you
actually,
guys-
I don't think it is. When you're in the middle of deciding something that is so charged and political, I would be like, "Oh shit, you dumb fucking bitch! I'm a fucking justice. Did you forget that? You know what's gonna fucking happen to me if anyone sees this? God, you're so fucking retarded." That's what would happen.
You would say that to your wife?
And if he can't even stand up to his own wife, how is he going to stand up to the president of the United States?
Yeah.
Okay. Can we go back to the conjoined twin example?
You want to go back there because there's no fucking good answer for why you wouldn't just remove it immediately.
No, I think that that's a reasonable effort you could take. I think it's also reasonable to talk about.
It's not reasonable.
With someone else.
A reasonable effort is you fucking use your hands and remove it. You have a right to do that. Now, if your wife wants to fight you on that, physically,
You fight her.
Well, she can fight you, and then you can call the police if she wants to physically restrain you
Hey,
from
you're not
doing your
fighting-
rights.
You're
But
not
there is
fighting your wife.
There is
You're
no
fighting for
standard
democracy.
that's being taken here, like time to discuss and contemplate. There's
Okay,
only removing the flag or not removing the flag. Inaction is action, and he chose inaction.
Wait, can I have to say this is a point
You know,
of
there's this
personal-
thing in
it's the point of
Louisiana.
personal privilege. Wait, I
There's
want
a thing in Louisiana
Oh
that they
my
do
God,
that's
no one
pretty
cares.
interesting. It's an expression there. They don't do something, okay? They're fixing to do something, which is funny. It's kind of a unique thing to
Well,
the South.
so he was fixing for 2 days.
You can't be fixing to take down the flag. You're either taking it down or not taking it down. It's
Okay.
a 1 or a 0.
It's a 1 or a 0. Got it. I just have to make a point of personal privilege. I'm going to start this by shilling. The Silly Series is a great content creator. Everyone should follow her Substack in the chat. Everyone should follow that. But I see you, Silly Serious, put in some comments in there, and they're triggering me. And so you should all follow her Substack. But at the same time, stop your little comments. They're triggering. Anyway, that's my take is my take. I think that you should be given the rope to have a reasonable effort to take down the flag. And I think a few days ain't that bad. No one died because of the few days.
What a
is a
non
reasonable
sequitur.
effort to tie your
Died on the
shoes?
predicate event, but
What?
Like, if your shoes are untied, what's a reasonable effort? If your wife says, "I like it when they're untied," what's a reasonable effort for you to tie your shoes?
You wait a few days, time when she's not around.
Okay, so you are retarded.
Joke, dude. That's a. I
Okay,
don't know.
I'm sorry,
This is
why-
not
wait,
terrible.
What's a reasonable effort then? I'm
Why
trying
does
to
it
make this
have to be-
simpler.
Why does it have to be like black or white? Like it is either he didn't for 2 days, therefore it's fucked, and he clearly was okay with it. Why can't it just be like he fucked up by not taking it down immediately? He
You know
shouldn't
what the
have.
problem
sat
is?
there.
It
Wait,
seems
no.
like neither of
You
have
know what the
any
problem is?
common
Hold
sense
on.
Or standards.
Oh my God. Do you hear that?
Did you-
It's Michael
did you get it?
Jackson. It's Michael Jackson coming in
Is
for
it?
the
I
most
hear it.
for the most unbelievable dunk that Pisco has maybe ever experienced his whole life.
Michael Jackson or Michael Jordan?
Michael
Holy
Jordan. That's what I just said. You dipshit.
Holy
Michael
shit.
It's
Jackson
Thriller.
is
No,
the halftime show.
it's Michael Jackson
Oh
too, because this is my Thriller.
God.
This is my Thriller. This is my Thriller. Okay, but it's also Michael Jordan too. Okay, and
Both of them.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Pisco right now. You know what Pisco's doing with the? He took the flag down. Pisco's doing the. Trump tweeted at them to go home.
No.
That's exactly what you're doing.
Oh, shit.
That is
What about if he
exact,
was
and he
thinking
did.
about
He
tweeting it
did,
too?
and you know what the response is? Yeah, 3 hours later. Except
Yeah, he
in
was
this case,
thinking
it was
about it.
3+ days later.
He
That's
was
what's going
fixing
on
to do
here.
it. He was
Wait,
fixing to
so
do
that
it.
goes right with what I said. Is like we can be like, yeah, you fucked up by not actually doing it. Instead of just fighting with your wife, you should have gone and taken it down. We can do that. That
Well,
doesn't
but
mean
nobody
that he was
says
in agreement with
nobody
it.
says that Donald Trump fucked up. They said that
No,
that's evidence
stop.
towards his
You
intent.
know, we're making a good
Whoa,
point, and
whoa,
you're
whoa, whoa.
avoiding it.
Yeah, Lycan's making a good point.
No, he's
Lycan's a good
not.
point.
No, he's not. It's evidence towards
No,
the
no, I have
intent.
a point. I have a point.
Why? It still puts fault on him. It still puts fault on him.
I have a point. So, Stephen, I'll give you an example. Let's say it's the flag situation, and 3 days, whatever. What if there's an active fire going on in your house? What do you think is a reasonable time for a response?
Are you,
You talk
asleep,
about it with
or
your
what do you
wife
mean?
first. You
You have
debate
a
it with
button.
your wife about how to
You
handle
have a
it.
button to turn off the fire. What's a reasonable response time to just press the button?
Probably as soon as you realize there's a fire.
Yeah. So maybe things that are more urgent have
You
different
think that-
response times that are reasonable.
Wait.
Yeah,
Oh,
we agree. Yeah.
like when Alito got home, he
Yeah.
was busy peeling off bumper stickers for 3 days, and that's why he didn't get to the flag yet. Like that. Like
He got home, saw something that undermines his entire profession and work. By the way, which I don't think either of us, me or Steve, thinks that was like just the case. Like, oh, silly wife doing wild things without my permission. He wanted it up. I still believe that. And all of this has been placating your fucking crazy belief that somehow he did not want that. I don't even subscribe to that. But
Yeah,
even if I did,
you think that he actively wanted it. That's
I do.
yeah. And
I
so
think
do you,
I
right,
think he
Stephen? You
asserted
think he
to it.
wanted it?
I don't
I
know if he
think that
wanted
he
it, but I know
liked
he
it.
supports the beliefs 1,000,000,000,000%.
Yep, that's
Okay.
it. He may not have like.
He might not have wanted the outcome
Wanted
of
it
everybody
permanently.
finding
He
it
may
out and
not
it
want it
blowing up, but
permanently.
I think he saw it, and he was probably
Yep.
sipping his coffee, thinking, "Fuck
That-
that, fuck that
that's
neighbor."
funny.
That's funny as fuck. They can't do
Absolutely.
anything about it either.
Yeah, fuck
I'll
'em.
just say my wife did it. Dumb
I
bitches.
keep getting this. So Joanna, I'm not
Oh,
going
no.
to treat the ISIS flag the same as the upside down American flag. I'm not
Can we
going to
choose
treat them
normal
the same.
flags, please?
It's not the same.
Is Joanna on our side? We
Yeah,
win.
apparently.
Hit the goddamn win button.
Like, it's not the same thing. The ISIS flag is very different.
What about a Hamas flag? And his wife supports Palestine.
Yeah, what about that? Is that different? Hamas
It's a
is
fucking
designated.
terrorist organization.
Yeah, so would you take a few days to do that?
What about the
Would that
Proud
exclude
Boys,
you?
the Oath
What about the
Breakers?
Israeli flag?
What about an organization that some purported Hamas, but you didn't directly support
Wait, why,
Hamas?
again, why are we going down this? We already said, I think Pisco agrees. He fucked up not taking it down.
What do you mean? He did take it down.
No, he fucked up not doing it right away.
No, I think he took reasonable efforts. I think that's fine.
Ooh.
I think he should have done it right away.
Lycan was trying to give you the alley-oop, and you just fucking dropped it on the ground.
No, because if I say he didn't take reasonable efforts, then
You've already lost.
He-
Just
he
it's
should recuse
just
himself.
easy to just like concede now and move on, and maybe you
Oof.
can win
Oh,
on
no.
a future
Make your
thing.
argument- this
You know,
doesn't make
like
your
the big
argument
thing.
stronger.
Yeah, this is a Dan strategy. If you're losing, the best thing you can do is admit defeat and move on to something where you can win, because you're
I'm
only as
absolutely
good
not
as your last
admit-
W.
I'm absolutely not admitting defeat. I think that the calls
That's your
for
problem. You
Alito
should
to
admit
recuse
defeat and then
himself
find a
based on this
technicality that you can beat
episode
us
are
on.
way overblown. I think you guys are applying a standard you would never apply and never did apply in previous instances with like these kinds of situations when they emerged. I bet you.
see.
if
And your
there was
evidence
a
of that is
Black
asking
Lives
us if we
Matter-
would apply
I
it, and
bet
we said
you-
that we would.
I bet you if there was
Yes.
a Black Lives Matter bumper sticker on Sonia Sotomayor's car, you would not be calling for her to recuse herself on everything related to police brutality. I am positive that Stephen would not be doing that. Would you?
Now we're like
What is
just
a police?
positing future
Were there police
hypotheticals.
brutality things before the court?
Don't play into his games. There's nothing to win here. He's just a
what?
wild
He's
debate
what?
bro. That
How am
is
I a
nothing.
debate bro? This has been my position for ever since this happened, and I'm not someone who's going to give the benefit of the doubt to Alito all the time.
I think you're just being contrarian for some reason. I don't
So
know
okay,
why.
what did you want to happen? You wanted him to recuse himself on everything.
I wanted him to remove the flag right away. I would have been so okay with that. Imagine there was footage, Steve. He comes home, sees this flag. It's his neighbor's fucking camera. He says, that fucking goddamn bitch fucking goes, kicks down the flagpole, says, Samantha! Or whatever the fuck his wife's name is. Samantha, you fucking, what the fuck? Are you out of your fucking mind? And then the door shuts and you hear some fucking shouting and things like that inside. I'd be like, you know what? I don't think he should have recused himself at all. That's fine. I'm good with it. That's what I would like to see happen. You know what doesn't happen? Ah, man, there's a flag up. Let me discuss that with the wife. Give me a few days. Maybe I can take that down. I gotta be on the same page. I can't have any controversy in the old marriage. That'd be a little wild.
Next time something happens where it is a liberal justice or something like that.
Please go, bad faith incoming.
What's bad faith?
Nothing. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Holding you to your own standard because you never apply these the other way around. You haven't even read the Her report, Stephen. You haven't
it's time for the greatest hits.
The Her report.
It's time for the
you
Peace
don't even
Goes
know
greatest
anything
hits.
about it.
We're one step away from saying that he's obsessed, and why do you care so much?
True.
Pisco, what the hell does the Her report have that he declined to bring charges?
Exactly.
Pisco, you're just obsessed about this. I don't know why you care about this issue so much. It's not even that important.
I care about not having double
obsessed.
standards.
Oh
I care
my
about
God.
not having double standards. And Stephen would never apply this standard to his favorite Democrats or to Joe Biden. You heard him before, by the way, Josiah. I was like, would it be corrupt for Joe Biden to
Are you appealing to authority right now? Not a good look. That's another debate strategy.
Wait, I just want you to be clear, Josiah.
We're doing bandwagon here.
Josiah, I asked Stephen, would it be corrupt for Joe Biden to pardon his own son? He's like, no, I don't. I'd have to think about that a little more. It's bullshit. He never applies the same standard to Democrats.
Wait, is that what he said, or did he say he probably wouldn't give a fuck because of what?
I'm not sure. Yeah, that's what he said.
How crazy that the Josiah was basically almost guessing my position without even having heard the conversation. Oof.
Yeah.
How was he guessing? You said that you wouldn't care. Even though
I didn't say that. I said one, it would depend on which ones we're talking about dismissing, because I said everything for the tax fraud seemed reasonable.
You think he should be pardoned for that?
For the gun stuff? I would have to think a lot about the gun stuff. I would have to do some actual. My understanding is
his own beautiful son.
My understanding is I don't know if anybody has ever been charged like this with this crime in the history of forever. I don't know if that's ever been the case.
Wait, you can't laugh this away. This is
he has to
an
because
obvious, very political case that's been brought against Hunter Biden because he has the last.
You understand that's the exact same argument against the New York case against Trump.
Yeah, but you understand that just because two people say the same thing doesn't mean it is the same thing, right?
Yeah, that isn't the case. Okay, Trump.
You can't just appeal to novelty. You have to say
you don't appeal to novelty. I literally just said
that this case has been brought against anyone ever.
Show me another time.
There's a video of them doing drugs being used against them. You won't. You're not going to answer the question, will you?
Show me
a million times where someone's been going to jail where they've had their appraisals out of whack and they've done
That's
tax
not even what the
benefits.
New York case is about. You don't even know anything about it, so you're lost.
I don't know anything about the New York tax case. Okay, I'm sorry, my bad.
New York tax case? Did you say New York tax case or business records case? You don't even know.
Oh my God. What you're trying to do right now is you're trying to hinge on a technicality. You're doing the have you read the book? Oh my God. He hasn't even read the book. He doesn't even know. I know you're wrong. I know you're wrong. I know that much.
Pisco, are there any circumstances that you would tolerate a president pardoning their child?
Yes.
Okay. And why doesn't this one qualify?
Because there's nothing of evidence. There's no amount of evidence, in my opinion, to show that those charges are not based in fact or law.
Oh, so pardons are only for when the person didn't actually do the thing?
No. And the other considerations.
Did you guys hear what he just said here? Oh my God.
And the other considerations of pardons have not been established, which are, that he is. That he has apologized, that he's taken ownership and responsibility, all that kind of thing, and that he's served a sufficient amount of time, that the sentence is inordinately long. Those things haven't been established. He hasn't even been sentenced yet. And so, I mean, really, I'll ask you, doesn't he deserve to go to prison for tax fraud? Intentional tax fraud? Josiah? You won't even say, you're a Democratic shill too, Josiah. You won't say that people who are tax frauds deserve to go to jail, even though one of them. Hang on, I'm going to finish. I'm going to finish.
To calm the fuck down.
He shot out of a cannon. He shot out of a cannon right now.
I have said.
Wait, I'm going to finish this, Josiah, and then I'll let you go.
Right. He's so desperate for the W. He wants to do it. Drop the mic and run away.
One of the theories of Donald Trump's business records crime, which makes it a felony, is that he overpaid his taxes, and he might go to jail for that, for overpaying his taxes. But you're not willing to say that Hunter Biden probably deserves at least some jail time. You're not willing to say
What
it.
a simplistic, retarded take of what Trump did.
Oh,
Oh my fuck! That he overpaid his taxes. There was no other benefit he got.
He
Maybe
did
some
overpay
lower
taxes.
interest rates, something like that. Could he possibly have gotten those benefits?
That's not at all what the case is about. You don't even know what the case is about. So you should
Oh
shut up.
my god! I do know what the case is
No,
about. I
what's
know
it
more
about?
about real estate than you do. Do you
It's
want to
not
play in
about
this
real
game?
estate, you idiot. This is
It's about him and Mar-a-Lago. Okay.
No, it's
Why
not.
are you
You're
laughing?
an
Okay,
idiot.
just we can laugh then. That's fine. I
You
don't know.
wait,
I don't know. We'll just laugh. You know, attorney not knowing. Oh my god! I can't believe it.
see, this is why I do the audio on the show, guys. See how
We're not
fucked
talking
Dan's mic
about.
is?
We're not
There it
talking
is.
about the. We're not talking about the asset inflation case, which is a civil case. We're talking about the hush money case, Dan. You
Oh,
idiot.
we're going to the Stormy Daniels case. Gotcha. I'm
That's
sorry.
what
I
we're
thought that when
talking
we were
about.
talking about the taxes and how we paid more.
Yeah, because you're an idiot.
That,
You don't.
that,
you don't
that was going to be
understand.
around what
You don't
the
even
case
understand what I was
about.
referencing. I was talking about his actual.
Yes, I forgot
Item.
about the taxes and the Stormy Daniel hush case. That's my
Oh,
fault.
so you don't understand because that's actually one of the key theories of the case is that he overpaid his taxes. You didn't know that because you haven't read up on the case because you're just
Okay.
assuming things, Dan. You're assuming, and you know what happens when you assume? You make an ass of yourself, and that's what you
No,
just.
it's out of you and me. You don't even know how the expression goes. I'm on a.
Oh,
He ran. Sorry, Josiah. I said you were going to have your space.
No, I've told you. I've said before, I think on Live and Learn, I know on my channel, that I do think it'd be wildly inappropriate for the president to pardon Hunter, even though I know that the charges are very rarely brought. But I also have a higher standard for the president, wielding their constitutional powers, even if I actually impose ethical stipulations on the president that are not found in the Constitution because that pardon power is absolute. And by the way, it's just kind of funny that this question is even being posed at a time when, in the light of the Supreme Court immunity decision, where these things are not even reviewable. They're we can't even cast aspersions about how the president exercises certain prerogatives. I've said from the beginning, though, that I think it'd be wildly inappropriate of the president to do so. I also said that it's superhumanly ethical of Biden to allow the charges against Hunter to be brought in the first place, because as you well know,
It is not superhumanly
Yes, it
ethical.
could-
It is
one.
the basic principles of this country that law favors.
I'm sorry,
wait,
but
wait,
right
wait.
now, basic principles of this country is only being adhered to by one half of the political establishment right now. So it is superhuman. Yeah.
But let us not take the opposite approach, which is just assume that just because we have a normal president who abides by the basic structures of our institution and our system, that
Wait a
is
minute, but wait,
superhuman
okay.
act of anything. It is a expectation we should have of anyone holding office in this country.
wait a minute. Do you think? I'm trying to figure out if I agree or not.
No,
because you said
no,
superhuman
you don't.
so many
because
times.
What Pisco
Wait a minute,
is,
wait a minute.
No, because what Pisco is ignoring is the
Pisco.
fact that your environment, okay, is going to heavily influence how your actions are being perceived, right? If you get startled and you turn around and you shoot somebody, should an ordinary person do that? Absolutely not. That'd be ridiculous. But if you were in the middle of a fucking battlefield in wartime or whatever, the standards for behavior and what everybody's going to be thinking is going to be changing a lot, of course. The fact that Biden is adhering to what we would consider to be a basic norm at a time when the ex-president had a literal fucking pardon list for criminals that were involved in criminal conspiracy to keep him in office, that is a superhuman adherence to everything that the president should stand for in this political climate. Absolutely.
You are the best of us.
He is the
think about
best
it,
of us,
Pisco.
god damn it.
Pisco, think about this. He could have affirmatively killed that investigation, or he could have just allowed it to die, because David Weiss, the Trump-appointed U.S. attorney investigating Hunter, it's customary that U.S. attorneys resign when a new administration comes into office. Biden requested David Weiss stay on payroll, that he not offer his letter of resignation. He didn't even need to do anything affirmatively. He could have just let Weiss resign, and that would have
True.
killed the investigation.
True.
You guys want blue MAGA Trump in office. I've realized.
Then
I've
now
seen
back
it.
to the
Bro,
trolling.
oh,
He's trolling. He's
you
trolling.
guys
He's
want-
trolling. He's trolling.
You guys want blue MAGA. I mean, you really wanted someone to come in there.
No,
and,
no.
close down the
I
Hunter Biden
listen.
investigation.
Hey, wait. No. What I want is recognition that Joe Biden allowing the criminal investigation and prosecution of his only living son, when he had the power 3 or 4 different ways to kill it, I think that is exceptional. And maybe you could say, maybe you're right. In a vacuum, that should be the bare minimum, that we have any chief executive should be of such character that they would not abuse the absolute powers of their office or indulge in the absolute powers of their office to protect their children. But I don't think in the political climate we live in that that's common. I think what Biden did was exceptional.
Okay,
You disagree?
understand that. I think it shows he's an honorable man and the best president we've had in
The
my
best
lifetime.
of us.
He was the best of us. And I just want to take a moment, quick shout out to Christina Applegate and to Joe Biden, that really, this guy deserved
Pivot.
your vote
Diversion.
in 2020, and he was an excellent and exceptional president. All
Christina
that said,
Applegate, the actress?
yeah, that's my aunt.
What?
What?
What do you mean, what?
Is that a meme?
not-
Like your
No,
aunt?
that's his aunt.
Your aunt is fucking Kelly from Married with Children?
Yeah, my uncle is Edward J. Olmos.
Fuck you. Fucker. All right.
You think I was related to Christina Applegate? That's it.
Well, you know what? You know where my folly was? Here's my mistake. I trust Lycan a lot, perhaps too much. He abused our friendship right there. Yeah.
I actually was in the Marine Corps with who's the chick who sang
Fuck
Jagged
you. I
Little
trust
Pill?
you. Alanis Morissette.
Yeah, I went to.
You were in the Marine Corps with Alanis Morissette,
With her
Canadian
niece.
pop star?
with her niece.
I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
I don't know either.
Because you're just trolling on everything.
So
I'm not trolling on
But
any.
you guys want to know a real fun fact? Like, this is not a troll.
that's exactly what you would say
If you're
in a
trolling.
prelude to a troll.
No, I swear to God, my uncle introduced Newt Gingrich to the woman that he cheated on his wife with.
Wow.
Wow. Why?
Wow, politics.
He cheated because of politics?
No. Wait, why did he cheat, or why did my uncle introduce him? I don't know why he cheated. He cheated because his wife had cancer and he's a dick.
Oh.
Wow. Jeez.
You're saying it's never okay to cheat on your cancer spouse?
I'm not doing this debate.
That's what Steven was doing. That's what Steven was
Did you
doing.
just call her a cancer spouse?
I didn't know
What
that.
the
The words.
fuck?
I'm misspeaking. All right. There's something about this conversation. I'm misspeaking all the time.
God damn. So, in summation, you are going to stream the debate, Stephen?
Yeah,
No,
of course.
I'll
Why
get
wouldn't
back
I?
to that.
Yeah?
I just don't know if there's a chance of your channel getting nuked. Because I was thinking about doing it myself, but
I'm just
I
doing
don't
it
want
on
to risk my
Kick.
channel.
The platform
Oh.
that supports freedom of speech.
Fair.
And fair use.
And Pisco's going to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
And then my last question for you besides that is, where's all this J6 stuff? Are we reaching the culmination? Or
You
is
know,
there
I've
gonna be a
been getting
follow-up?
dragged down every day by dumb shit, and now I've wasted 4.5 hours on this conversation.
You invited me, sir.
Not for this.
You didn't invite me, but I just barged in anyway.
What is the debate, guys? And when
There's
is
no
it?
debate.
The presidential debate.
debate.
There is.
Oh.
Pisco didn't even know. Pisco, will you admit that you didn't know there was another presidential debate coming up? Will you admit that you had no fucking idea that Kamala Harris from the Democrats is going to debate Donald Trump?
I can't admit that.
No, he did know because he's going to be flying an upside down flag outside his porch in
No,
solidarity.
no,
with
no,
his
no,
baby
no,
brother.
no.
Actually-
No, his partner will be flying the upside down flag. Okay, let's
And
be
it'll take
clear.
him 3 days
okay?
to remove it.
Yes, true.
Oh, there you go. After getting BTFO, Dan came back. Came
Remember how
all
I
the way
said
back.
it's like you're kind of looking for the W here, but the totality of the thing is so bad that there's no way you can go out on a W.
We'll see. We'll see what the YouTube comments say, and we'll see what August title is, because usually August will hint at who won the debate in the title.
Really?
Who all? Okay, how are we betting? Obviously,
who's gonna win?
all of our assholes were clenched the last time. But what about this one?
Stephen thought that Joe Biden won the first debate. That's how Blue Magi is.
What? I definitely said that for sure. That definitely sounds like something I said. Yes.
Was there a winner, Pisco? I don't know if there was a winner because Trump was terrible too.
Oh, so Josiah, you literally think that it's possible that there was like an equal?
Careful.
Okay,
He's baiting
so
you.
Biden had the worst rhetorical performance, I should say, or the most uneven. Trump didn't engage with any of the questions substantively and lied the whole time. So if that constitutes a debate victory in your mind,
For me, winning in this context means relatively coming off better. Sorry, getting more out of it for the purposes of winning the election. That's what I mean by winning. What do you mean by winning? Like, who had the best points?
sure. I think that's part. I mean, I'd like to think that that's part of it.
Then Trump lost the debate.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't know if anybody won because I think they struggled in different respects. There's no question that Biden was held to a higher standard and he suffered more consequences. But quite frankly, I think that that's been the case for all of Trump's opponents. They're all held
because
to a higher
of people
standard.
like Pisco.
Because of people like me, I have been on the front lines fighting against MAGA while you were just doing video games. I was the one pushing you to get
And
more
now
involved
we've
in
switched
Jane's
places,
sex.
and now Pisco is the herder.
No. What happened?
What's that line from The Dark Knight?
I feel like I'm radicalizing you guys. That all of a sudden, when I am pushing a little bit of moderation, you guys intuitively, you need to fight back against me because you need
He's
to
trolling.
disagree with
That's
me.
a troll.
This is not a troll. And all of a sudden, you've been radicalized by me in a way that I didn't
Radicalized?
intend. Yes, you guys
ESL.
are radical. Pepe wins. All right, this is getting out of hand. My concluding thoughts on everything is, Stephen, you should read the Her report.
And the Colorado Supreme Court case. Because I didn't read that one, remember?
Why do you? I accused you of lying, and I still think that you lied in that moment. How do you still maintain like friendly relations with me?
Because I just half the stuff you say is a troll. If Rob just would troll more, he would have made it out alive. But
All right. Well, this has been great. I love everybody, including and especially the conservative
Alito,
DJGers.
we know.
You might disagree with me, conservative DJGers, but I'm trying to fight for freedom and fairness, and that will be applied to you. And when I see something that's an overreach by Blue MAGA, like Destiny and Josiah, I'm going to call it out. And you can trust me to be fair and balanced
MAGA.
always.
Fucking A. Hell yes. I am Blue MAGA.
Well, that was fun. Dan, Steven, Lycan, you guys have a great rest of your day.
Be careful.
You too, buddy.
ya.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Any of you two have anything?
I was thinking of the line in Seinfeld where the dude goes up to Jerry and he's like, "So this offends you as a Jew?" And he goes, "No, this offends me as a comedian." I feel like with Bisco right now, he's like, "Guys, we're on the same page. Don't worry."
True.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll let you get back to your very exciting J6 research.
Thanks. Have fun. Be careful.
Bye.
Bye.
Careful. Bye.